Morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Get our heads right on a Thursday. Another one of those long-ass weeks that feels like Friday. It's not Friday. It's Thursday. But we are here. Got two more shows for you this week. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's our executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning.
And Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor here as well. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning.
Oh, you want to turn that mic right
Good morning.
on? There you
Question
go.
for you.
Yeah, shoot.
Got our throwback open on a Thursday.
9 inches still.
5 years. Almost.
Yeah.
Have you pulled that demon out of me, or is the demon still deep, deep inside?
I think that you just asked me this question last week. I'm pretty sure.
At this time.
At this time.
Really? I have no recollection of that.
Yeah. You did. It's all right. I think a little bit. I haven't fully corrupted you yet, but also I'm no longer fully corrupt. You know?
Yeah.
So it would have been
It's worked in reverse.
10 years ago. 10 years ago, yeah, you're dead. I mean, you're in an alley somewhere, you know.
I mean, I feel like I've had more of an influence on you
I think so.
than you have had on me.
Definitely.
Like, you now are passionate about golf. You hated golf when I met you.
Massively passionate about golf. And while I hated when you would talk about golf and stuff, I hated it because I didn't think our audience cared. What I've realized is they still don't at all. But now I like it too. And the pandemic is really what got me into golf. But you've been, I've asked you a billion questions. We played a billion rounds together. And yeah, man, I am way into golf. I'm going to try to play. I'm going to try to play at some point when the deluge stops here in San Diego. So I'm waiting for that. It's just everything's wet. I don't even want to practice. Everything's just wet and cold. And so I from what I understand, more weather's coming in next week. Should have a couple. We may even be able to get a little league game in this weekend, a T-ball game, but got to see how the fields hold up. Supposed to have practice tonight. So look forward to that. But yeah, I think there's some demon I've pulled out of you. You still have sports robot in you. You're 75% sports robot, but you're 25%, demon. And I'd like not even demon, but just more human. And I think I'd like to get that number down to about 50%.
All right, fair enough.
So, so if I could whack off, I could knock.
Okay.
Save that, Paulie. I guess is what I'm supposed to say there.
Wow.
That's not what I meant. I meant knock
It
off.
is foreplay, I guess. My God.
If I could knock off another 25% of sports robot, I think this show could go to the moon. To the moon.
But today is like one of the best sports days of the year.
Sure.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm supposed to say that.
You are supposed to say
that's
that.
101.
You don't believe it 100%. I believe it 100.
Yeah.
With all of my
we know
everything.
We know you do. Go to your Twitter.
This is a better sports day to me than Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, it's better than Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Oh my, by far.
Percent. I think for me, I don't gamble anymore. So today would have been really fun a year ago. But now it's just regular amount. Like I'm going to go home. I'm going to watch the games, as many as I can stomach. Because I don't know.
You've got a bracket, though.
Yeah, I do.
That's essentially a smaller form of gambling, I guess, depending on how much you put into your bracket pools. But
I got a couple of, I have two. All right, here's my brackets. I have 3 brackets. Did 2 for our friend and $5 a piece. Well, but there's a decent amount of people in there, so we'll see how that goes. Bo picked 1, I picked 1. That'll be fun to monitor for sure. And then Jordan, our tier 1 from North Carolina, guilted me into doing one this morning. And I said, well, is there any money? And he said, no, it's free. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll do it. I just did it so that he wouldn't think I was a jerk. So I did it.
Fair enough.
And
he's listening. So,
yeah, he is listening. So I did that. But I mean, Paulie, you're right. Like you agree, right? I have to say, today is one of the best sports days in the country. I have to say it.
I think at our old station you'd have to say it.
No,
I think now you can say whatever you feel.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't know. Like, I don't know that I would say I look forward to today more than the Super Bowl. But
I
I
really like the Super Bowl.
I love Super Bowl.
I really
Sunday.
like Super Bowl Sunday. Now that I
Well,
think about
I
it,
do
It's like
too,
a
but-
holiday.
It's one game that may or may not be good.
yeah, that's true.
Today-
You're going to get some
you'll
really
get
Today there are
entertained.
16 games, all with do or die,
yes. I give you
win
that.
or go home consequences, which almost guarantees that you're going to have at least 5 or 6
yeah.
incredible
But with the
endings,
Super Bowl,
finishes.
even without a dog in the fight, you know those two teams in
Yeah.
and out because they were the two best teams most likely throughout the year.
And you've had 2 weeks of
Right.
nonstop coverage on them.
Like, while there could be a great 14 versus a 3 matchup later today.
So the
I don't know anything about. I don't know any of the players. I don't know anything about the school history this season.
it's true. So I think
Like, I'm only really concerned with San Diego State's game today.
right. Yeah. That's one I'm gonna park down and watch 100%. But it's the other thing. You know what I always do at March Madness? I always pick the wrong game. I always pick the wrong game where I'm watching something and I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool. And then I look at Twitter and they're like, oh my God, if you haven't checked in on Iona,
you
you're like,
missed the
"What?"
old days when they would just do it for you. You'd only have games on CBS.
Yeah.
And they would switch over
Yes. And they switch
to the game that they thought you should be watching. Now, you wouldn't have an option to watch the other 2 or 3 games that were going on at the same time, but you knew that you do nothing and they will switch over to a good ending
Correct.
if something's coming down to the wire.
And so I feel like I miss a ton. I don't have the multiple TVs going. That's not even really something I do. And I love baseball. Baseball is my favorite. That's not even something, Benny, I do for the baseball playoffs. I watch what's on and then I switch over.
I mean, that's pretty. I mean, it's kind of laziness because they have all. It's 4 channels. You know where all of them are. If you can find True TV, everyone knows where TBS, TNT, and CBS are on their cable system. I would imagine.
If you don't, look it up
For the most
right
part,
now.
it's not that hard.
But
Put a note in
They
your
have
phone.
the scores on the screen of the games that are going on.
right.
in the corner.
you can
So
flip over.
you can look and see, oh wow, that one's a 3-point game with 2 minutes left. Click. They make it as user friendly, I think, as possible at this point.
It's more of I don't care all that much. Right? Like that's like I'll make it if it's baseball playoffs. That's my best sports day. When baseball playoffs start, I'll never forget when I was a morning jock at 94.9, our old boss Kevin called a meeting we had a staff meeting and it was, games start at what time? Like 9 a.m. or something on the East Coast. And bro, I was livid. I was like, do I have to be here? Like, what are we doing? We're giving away iPads. We're pretending they're from space. I want to go home and watch the baseball playoffs. It's the best day of the year for me. I was like mad. Like I feel a cough coming on. I want to go home and watch this game. I don't want to give away iPads.
Why were you
iPad-
pretending they were from space?
Don't even get me started.
Aliens came down and brought
Yeah.
iPads to the listeners
Correct.
of your radio station.
Adam or Ben. I said Adam, Freudian slip. It was the worst promotion. And anybody that knows me, when they used to make me do the videos and they'd be like, all right, Woodsy, and I'd be like this. Hi, this is Woods. Aliens have come down and delivered an iPad. You can be the iPad winner from this iPad from space. Call 787-1949 to get your chance for an iPad. That's the best I can do. Sorry, fellas. And I would have to do the liners and be like, all right, give me any crap.
What was the backstory here? Why had they come down from space
Give
to
me any
deliver
crap alternative song from 10 years ago.
iPads
And I'll walk you through
to
it.
the San Diego radio listeners?
Anything.
Cake by the Ocean.
What? No, just give me one.
Oh,
Play,
you
play
wanna
me
play it?
Go
Yeah,
TA
just-
or play me
Yeah,
American
okay.
authors or anything that from that era, and I'll walk you through.
I'm
it.
hoping for Cake by the Ocean right now,
Right.
Polly.
I don't
So
know what that is, but
Yeah,
you know that DNCE, DNCE, Cake by the Ocean.
I think we played.
Nope, we got to go TA.
No, it's all right. Yeah. No, run it back.
Run it back.
It's FM 94.9. Good morning, everybody. It's Woodsy. iPads from space will be attacking at 7:35. Make sure you get registered at fm949sd.com and listen for your name to win. First chance coming up, 7:35. Boom. Hit the musical post. I don't know why they were from space. He never told us why they were from space. All I know is I showed up and I had to give away iPads from space, and there were graphics of aliens and space, and
Well, later this morning, we're giving away Darius Rucker tickets from outer space.
he's from here. He's from the Earth.
Aliens, though, have come down and brought Darius Rucker tickets.
I would rather be abducted by an alien than go see Sam Hunt, though. I will say that. That is one thing I will say. I don't know if we're giving those away, but holy cow. But yeah, so that's my
So
story.
baseball, obviously, yes. You would rather have a full day of baseball playoff
Sure.
watching. Right.
But I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's a good
watch.
day, too.
I'm gonna watch some today for sure. I did say that.
But it's like every game is game 7 today as well.
Yeah.
Because it's elimination.
yeah,
That's what
that's the cool part.
that's the real
And
cool
there will
part
be
about
some.
this day.
I mean, baseball playoffs. There's really no. I can't really think of an equivalent of like a 14 beating a 3 or something, right?
Yeah.
Like if you make the playoffs, anybody
You're
can
good.
advance.
yeah.
And if you are let's say you are a big underdog, you're a wild card team that won 83 games and you're taking on a 107 win team. Yeah, you beat them in one game. It's not even that huge of an upset. I mean, you're probably going to
You probably have a
win a
really
game
good pitcher that you're
somewhere in the
throwing,
series,
yeah.
somewhere. If you win the whole series, it's a cool upset, and that it does happen occasionally. But yeah, nothing like what we see today with the guaranteed Cinderella teams. I mean, there's never been a tournament without at least a couple of Cinderellas,
Yeah.
right?
You
Yeah.
know, somebody said, why don't they do like a red zone channel for the tournament? Do they
Don't
not?
they do that?
I thought like the apps, like the
don't know.
March, they have like a March Madness app where you can watch multiple games.
I
On
mean,
the
you can
box.
do your own
the
quite
quad
easily
box.
by just following the scores and changing your channel. But to actually have like
Yeah,
all
but to watch
four
them
of like
simultaneously,
in a box,
I used to do that in college every year. I just sit in the back with my laptop open. You got 4 games, 8 games, whatever time of day it is. It's the best.
Well, all right. March Madness starts today.
9:15, first game today. West Virginia. No, not West Virginia. West Virginia against Maryland.
Are we going to lose you for the last 45?
Oh boy.
No.
No, you don't care.
No, that
much.
game,
All
not
right.
really. One. I mean, if there were like 4 games and they were all coming down to the wire, yes, I would be distracted. One game in the first half, which is all we're going to have during our show, not going to divide my attention.
Coach and Braden are in for a rough one then today because all the good games are going to be going on when they're
There,
on.
exactly.
Where are you guys watching said game today?
I will probably be doing it at home in
Yeah.
between my radio and television shift, which is nice. I don't watch a ton of sports at home, and it's fun when I get a chance to do that.
That's good, Paulie. You
Same on my couch.
you guys going to do snacks or anything? Or
Probably not. Well, I mean, it's lunchtime, so I might do lunch.
I did a boo boo. I made a boo boo.
Uh-oh.
I booked a haircut for 12:15
Ooh.
today, so I will be missing the first half.
Not one of those haircut places with the TVs. No.
No. This is it's very fancy. But I can't cancel on her. So I have to go get my haircut. But I'll check the second half. See how that goes. So listen, nobody comes to the show to hear me break down the Aztecs anyway. That's what
Fair enough,
that's what
yeah.
your Twitter is for.
I'll handle that
That is a
tomorrow.
fair
And
point.
our show tomorrow.
Paulie and I
So,
can handle
yeah,
that tomorrow.
You got it.
No worries about that. Are we done with foreplay?
That's it for me.
All right, 6:15. It is Daily Diddy time next. Paulie's selection. It is Women in Music Week, or
Women
At least-
who rock.
Women Who Rock Week on our Daily Diddy. So Paulie will take the pick. Speaking of the final or the NCAA tournament and the Aztecs coming up at 7:00 this morning. Very excited
Yeah.
to bring back the legend Steve Fisher, former head coach at San Diego State, the
Tier
architect
1.
of the program.
I hope he wasn't listening to Foreplay and heard me say what I said. It breaks my heart to think if that sweet man was listening and heard me say what I wanted to do to Ben. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
It will break my heart.
He's coming up at 7:00 this morning, so we'll get his take on the
Sweet
Aztecs
angel.
matchup.
I'm
and
sure
the-
he's heard worse.
I'm sure he has. Man, I hate letting that guy
Do you think
down.
now that I don't know if we've asked him this before? Now that he's retired, do you think he fills out a bracket now?
You just took my first question? That was my first
You can,
question.
you can still have that one. I will
my
let
first and only.
I will let you have that one.
All right.
So that's to look forward to. We'll catch up on Padre spring training with Sammy Levitt a little later on. They were rained out again yesterday, so trying to get back to action today. And the World Baseball Classic is underway. We'll give you that update. Yu Darvish has gone in for Team Japan. Maybe a bit of a surprise, not starting coming in out of the bullpen. We'll tell you what's up in that quarterfinal.
Get him out of there.
When we come back with Ben Woods, let's get our first check of traffic with Kelly Danick and get rolling here on a Thursday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, Joan Jett for you. Hate myself for loving you. Mrs. Woods sings this probably every morning to herself. Speaking of Mrs. Woods, today is, by the way, National Everything You Do Is Wrong Day. So I'm sure she's going to celebrate that with me later. You get that at home, that everything that you get that feeling sometimes, man, I just can't.
There's been times for sure.
I can't do anything right.
But do you turn it back and on her? And it's also her everything you do is wrong day as well.
She doesn't do much wrong. Not wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't consider the things that she does wrong, but she has an opinion on everything I do. Like, if I'm washing a spatula, I get a comment that that's really not the best way to wash a spatula. If I'm loading the dishwasher, I'll get I don't put the glasses there. The glasses go here. The changing of diapers, the bathing of children, the rearing of children, the talking to children, the changing the channel of the remote, the opening the door, the way that I take the trash out, the way that I tie the trash bag, the way that I make coffee, the way that I wash a coffee mug, the way that I open the refrigerator, the way that I close the refrigerator, the way that I stock the pantry, the way that I go to the grocery store, the way that I sit at my desk, the way that I put my shoes away, the way that I put my socks away, the way that I put my underwear away.
It's so wonderful that she cares so much about you.
Yeah, just wants me to be great.
Just wants you to
be great.
Just be fantastic in all aspects of your life.
She just wants me to be great. I often comment or heard around my house a lot is, I don't know how I made it through the first 35, 40 years of my life without you, my love.
It's also National Spray Tanning Day. You want to get a little orange bronzer going today.
Yeah. Never done spray tanning. Done other tanning, but I've never done spray tanning.
Like sitting in a tanning bed tanning?
Yeah, it was a thing back in the day, Gym tan laundry, that whole bit.
Well, you lived in places that didn't have sun. Well, we also now live in a place that doesn't have sun anymore.
There is no sun here. We might as well be living on
Well,
the
I grew
moon.
up here. There was lots of sun, and you didn't really need a tanning salon or spray tanning. But I guess the last few weeks, when we get nothing but rain, maybe it seems appealing.
You never tanned before?
No, I've never tanned, but I tan quite easily on my own.
Really nice. When you get dark, you look really handsome. When you get a nice, good. I crisp. Now, Paulie gets a little crispy when we go play golf. I don't get tan though.
I'll get a little red that turns into a little tan after a couple days.
Yeah.
I just go kind of straight brown, just kind of nice and.
He does. His legs are all supple and tanned.
Good colored skin.
Yeah. You're lucky.
Okay, so Yu Darvish is now out of the game at the World Baseball Classic going on right now. Italy is taking on Japan in the quarterfinals in Tokyo. Japan leads it 9-3 in the top of the ninth inning. They are 3 outs away from heading into the semifinals and meeting the rest of the teams that are left in Miami in a couple of days. But so Shohei Ohtani started this game against Italy and pitched, I think, 4+ innings. And then they brought in a couple of relievers. And then with a 5-run lead, they brought in Yu Darvish in the 7th. And he threw 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, a solo home run. It doesn't matter. They're up by 6 right now. But then they took him out in the 9th inning. And now I wonder, well, are they going to use him in any of the last 2 games? Because I believe the semifinal, assuming they win, although Italy does have 2 runners on, is going to be Sunday. So he pitched 2 innings on Thursday. My guess is that he's probably out for Sunday. Are they going to try to start him on Tuesday in the final next week on 4 days rest from a 2-day bullpen session? Is it too early to do that in spring training?
No, let's see. Tuesday of next week, Ben, would be
that would be a regular rest, wouldn't it?
Tuesday of next week would be the 21st. Opening day is the 30th. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no, maybe they're planning on starting him if they make it to the final.
Wait, we kept seeing the reports of.
But Ohtani could start in the final as well if it's 4 days rest here.
Yeah, but didn't we see reports? I think Sammy Levitt reported. Spring Training Sammy said something to the effect of Yu Darvish may not even get a start in the Cactus League
if he starts the last game of the World Baseball Classic.
Is next Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Okay, so if they make it to the finals, he could start that game Tuesday the 21st.
Or he could come in relief again of Ohtani.
Yeah, true. Yeah. They could just piggyback those same 2 guys. Yeah, that's probably what they'll do. Honestly, I don't think you've seen the last of Yu Darvish, not with a week or so to go or 5 days to go. I think you'll see him. And
They'll have to
Otani
get by
again.
Cuba in the
Yep.
semifinals first, but I would imagine they'd be favored in that game over Cuba to get to the finals. And then there are still some quarterfinals to be played, including the United States that has made it to face Venezuela.
Josh says Japan semifinal would be Monday. Final Tuesday
Monday
would be regular rest for you. Would probably piggy with Otani. Yeah.
Okay.
So, we need to talk about probably the biggest story in baseball.
Yes, we will. From last night's World Baseball Classic, absolutely the biggest story. Maybe in sports, yes. Well, Aaron Rodgers probably the biggest story in sports yesterday, but certainly a monumental story that will impact the season. We will talk about that coming up in our next segment. And then Steve Fisher going to join us at the top of the hour. Don't forget the Ben & Woods Open taking place Thursday, April 6th at Rancho Bernardo Inn. We are less than a week away from putting our slots on sale now, Wednesday, March 22nd. Thank you to our sponsors, Travis Matthew, Daily Engineering, Sombreros, all part of the sponsors making it happen for our second Ben & Woods Open.
And how about our beloved friends over at Virgin?
Yep.
You guys, they blew us away when they launched the Tier 1 Pale Ale, and it's our own beer celebrating you, our audience.
A new one is coming out later this month, a new version.
A new version of it.
Well, the third version of it, yeah.
Version of the deal. They're going to be out there at the Ben & Woods Open. You're going to be sucking down Tier 1 Pale Ales like it's going out of style.
It's worth it just for that, honestly.
100%.
Totally worth the entire tournament.
Thank you.
Just to be drinking Virgin beer while you're there. So looking forward to all of it coming up April 6th at Rancho Bernardo Inn. But yeah, dramatic story that has some people rethinking the entire concept of the World Baseball Classic. Get to that coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We just realized that our names are much better in Spanish
Yes.
than in English. Esteban, Benjamin, Pablo.
Much better. We were talking about the notorious Grammatica brother that hurt himself while celebrating. Was that a career ender for
It might have been.
for Bill Grammatica? Now, we've made the Grammatica joke before. You've got one brother named Martin, beautiful name, and then Bill. Granted, his parents did name him Guillermo, which is
William in Spanish.
Which I would have stuck with Guillermo Grammatica, but he said, call me Bill.
Just call me Bill.
Yeah, and it's like what we, how we Americanize names too. Esteban is really cool, and Benjamin is great, and Pablo is fantastic. But you're Ben Woods or Ben, Steve, and Paul. It's not the same. It's not
doesn't have the dramatic flair anymore,
or the grammatic flair.
Yeah,
it's very plain, very vanilla.
But the reason you brought up the injury, the celebratory injury, is because of what happened last night in the World Baseball Classic at the end of the Puerto Rico Dominican Republic game. The winner take all, loser goes home or goes back to spring training, as it were, and Puerto Rico up 5-2 in the ninth inning. So they bring in their closer, Edwin Diaz of the New York Mets.
Dude.
He locks it down, strikes out the last batter. Everything's fine. And then in the ensuing, within 15, 20 seconds in the ensuing celebration, you never really get a totally clean shot, but just kind of does a jump up into the air. And
I don't think it was the jump.
What was it?
So here's what my understanding, and I'll give it to you from my point of view. Last night, I watched that, and I watched him come in, and not a Mets fan at all. But I there's something about hearing Timmy trumpets, blaring those trumpets, and it gets me like, whoo, God bless. This is a great intro. And he runs out, and dude, he is dialed. And he is they're talking about it on the broadcast, his control. They're like, watch him throw this slider in the exact same spot, just gets in, in and out, wins the game. I get up, go to the restroom, go tinkle. By the time I come back, I thought someone had been shot. People were huddling around. There were tears. They were holding I go, what did I miss? What did I miss? And I tweeted, I'm like, I saw somebody on the ground and I saw people huddled around him. And I tweeted, was that Diaz? And people were like, yeah, dude, that was Diaz. So he kind of backs off the mound a little bit. Like, what's up? Someone's like hanging on him. There's a couple of guys. And I want to say like, somebody was hanging on him and kind of dropped him to the ground.
Almost like a bad tackle.
Yeah, like almost a bad tackle. Boy, I don't know who it was. They got to be feeling pretty bad about themselves if that's what happened. I didn't see him jump and land awkwardly or anything like that. He was backing up off the grass, off the mound, and he fell. And the next thing you know, man, you see like his brother is on the team. His brother was sobbing.
That's not a good sign.
No.
I mean, they tried to carry him off the field, and that was even not going well. He was like, "No, put me down."
Oh, dude,
it was
my
that
heart sick.
It was that bad as a right knee injury. What was reported? The Mets later tweeted out that they'll let us know more when they know the severity, the extent of the injury. Of course, he's going to get the imaging, and we'll find out in the next day or two, how bad it is. But it seems like, unfortunately, it has the potential to at least be a season ender possibly for Edwin Diaz, a critical piece, obviously, for a team that is expecting to be a World Series contender in the National League. Doesn't take him out of it by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, it makes it a lot harder to lose a guy like that, before you've even thrown a single pitch for the season. And the fact that it came not for your team. I mean, it's got to be much harder to stomach for the Mets and their fans.
Of course.
That he didn't do it in a Mets uniform. He did it in the World Baseball Classic. And it's brought up again the debate. Is this tournament worth it? The potential for injuries. Some people say, why are we doing this tournament, especially right before the start of the season?
Yeah, mostly Met fans now are saying, why are we doing this tournament?
If it was Juan Soto, we'd be saying it right now ourselves.
I mean, was it yesterday that we talked about Rosenthal's piece? Like, hey, why can't we get the top players and the top pitchers, especially for Team USA pitching there?
This isn't a pitching injury, you guys, and that's where we need to make sure that we're clear. This wasn't a pitching injury. This is not a baseball injury. he was celebrating and he got hurt. So I think that's the thing that bugged me most.
Well,
about
I mean,
let's crap on the WBC.
Yeah,
I love the WBC.
A pitching injury could have happened, obviously,
Anywhere.
in Mets camp.
A base running injury could happen to Gavin Lux.
You're never going to have a celebration injury during a cactus or grapefruit league game, though.
Interesting you say that. They literally last year practiced running out of the bullpen for a celebration. The New York Mets, and that's what's so ironic about this whole stupid thing.
I remember that.
They practiced it. Okay, yeah, game over. And they had practiced running out of the pen. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I couldn't believe they did.
Did they practice it for
like 6 months
psychological purposes,
maybe.
or to like, please don't hurt yourself while you're doing this?
I think it was, hey, let's get it in our when you're putting. Don't you watch the putt go in your mind before you hit the putt?
Visualizing success.
Let's see us running in and celebrating a Game 5 World Series victory or whatever. Okay, I guess I can see the reasoning behind it, but you can't say that it wouldn't happen at a Cactus League game, or you can't say that it wouldn't happen, if he on a day off going out and playing golf and celebrating a putt that he made. I mean, you just don't know. It's a freak injury. You can't indict the entire WBC for it. Now, easy sit in the ivory tower of a guy that's not a Met fan to say that today. Easy. I will fully admit that. If you're Italian Paul, by the way, who is a board op, he works at the station. He's a rabid Mets fan. We love him anyway. I actually broke the news to Italian Paul last night. I texted him. I go, dude, I'm so sorry. That effing sucks. And he wrote back, what happened? And I wrote back, oh no. And he goes, wrong person.
Like,
and I go,
I'm so sorry.
I go, no, dude, not the wrong person. I sent him the clip and he wrote back, I wish it was the wrong person. And I said, I'm so sorry. And he goes, well, at least we still have Seth Lugo to close out. Oh, no, we don't. So again, it's a massive injury. Now, if you want to look at it, they've got David Robertson. He ain't Edwin Diaz, but he has closed before. There's I think they have another arm down there too that's got some closing experience. The Mets will be okay. They'll be okay, but it's a massive blow, Ben. I mean, it's a massive blow. But I none of these guys, when you again, and it's not a pitching injury. So we have to make sure that we're clear on that. This was a freak accident. Man, maybe I would feel different if he threw a pitch and was like, oh, and grabbed his elbow. But again, I know that can happen at spring training too. Manny fell down the stairs yesterday.
Oh, saw that.
Soiled myself.
I saw that, and I have to admit, as soon as the game was over and the Dominican Republic lost,
me too.
I was kind of I was glad. I said, Soto and Manny raked, and the DR is out. Win-win.
It really is.
Win-win. I mean, I'm sure they would rather be going on and celebrating and winning, but as a Padres fan, I can more than stomach that result.
Man, and I'll tell you, just look at the passion. Look at how excited these guys are when they're playing. And like Puerto Rico, that whole game, they were just electric. I mean, just electric to watch. Look how much pride these guys take in their country. We as Americans need to, I think, realize that it is different. It's different in other countries. And we made the point yesterday about Shohei. And, bro, I mean, this guy's got, let's call it at a low, he's got $450 million on the line. And he's out there gutting it out for his country every day. And he's not bummed to be there. None of these guys are bummed to be there. They all wanted to be there. They're all very proud of their heritage and where they're from. And I love the tournament. I think it's great for baseball. The crowds have been electric. Katie Woo yesterday was at that game and said that this is like nothing I've ever seen in my entire life.
It looked unbelievable. It sounded unbelievable.
When Cueto came in the first, I was like, I'm deaf. I can't hear a thing. It was just nuts. So I understand, man. If you're a Mets fan today, you never want to see a player in the WBC again, and I get that. I do. I'm sympathetic to it, but you can't indict the whole tournament for a freak injury, I think.
So with the DR out and Italy just eliminated with Brett Sullivan, Padres minor league catcher, I believe that leaves just one Padres player remaining. No, two Padres players remaining in action.
Two starting pitchers.
And Martinez because of Team USA's win, which was kind of interesting in its own right. We'll talk about that coming up. First this hour, on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture, home of the world-famous Bob-O-Pedic mattresses, with all the comfort and quality of a national mattress brand for half the price. No matter your budget, there's a Bob-O-Pedic Memory Foam Hybrid or Hybrid Plus mattress for you. Check them out at mybobs.com. We'll come back right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Gomez Trial Attorney. Seriously injured, get a real trial attorney. Get Gomez. Got a collision on the Coronado Bridge heading over to the island. Looks like this is near the old toll plaza. A couple vehicles involved, not showing if lanes are blocked. Also, we still have this spin out northbound side of the 163 at the West 52. This vehicle wound up in the ice plant. Potholes causing some problems on our roads. Northbound side of the 125 before Lemon. Looks like the two right lanes have potholes, and there are vehicles with flat tires over the right shoulder. Also, pothole situation northbound side of the 15 at the 805. Large pothole in the right lane may have caused some flats on vehicles over the right shoulder, so please take it extra carefully. Stay to the left there. If you've been injured in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, Gomez Trial Attorneys is ready to fight for you all the way to trial. Get a real trial lawyer. Get Gomez. Call 833-GET-GOMEZ. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So Team USA didn't exactly dominate Pool C.
No.
They lost to Mexico. They did come back and they won their final 3 games and are moving on. But it took a narrow win over Colombia yesterday, 3-2, to avoid elimination. Now they could have lost that game, I think, by 3 runs or less, and they still would have qualified on a tiebreaker.
Yeah, they were in late in the game regardless, unless they let up a huge
Right. They need so it was actually very interesting. So Mike Trout put him ahead with a 2-run single. He drove in all 3 runs yesterday against Colombia in a 3-2 win. But it was an interesting situation because of that tiebreaker. They went to the bottom of the 9th inning with the U.S. leading 3-2. The only way they could possibly have been eliminated was with a 7-3 loss. So they would have needed to give up the tying run and then a walk-off grand slam. And that would have given Colombia the win. But had Colombia scored like just 1 run, like just a walk-off 4-3 win, it wouldn't have been enough. And I thought that's an interesting, I don't know if you want to call it a flaw in the tournament, but it feels like Colombia should be allowed to keep scoring as long as they want to try to win that game, as long as they're up and they have outs left. Why are you taking away some of their outs if they can't win the tournament? There could have been a situation, and someone brought this up, that Mark DeRosa, let's say it's 3-3. The bases are loaded and Colombia's batting. And if we give up a home run here, we're eliminated from the tournament. But if we intentionally walk a batter to lose the game, we move on and they are eliminated. it could have come down to that. Now it didn't, as the United States was able to close out the win 3-2. They didn't score.
That would have felt weird.
Wouldn't that have been a strange way for the pool play at the World Baseball Classic to end? But it was definitely a theoretical possibility going into that last inning of the USA-Colombia game yesterday.
By the way, right move.
Just walk them in.
Walk them in.
You operate under the rules that have been
established,
constructed.
There's nothing bush about it, I don't think. I mean, this is where
we're
at.
I think people would have been losing their minds.
I wouldn't have felt good about
if the United States
either, it's if I'm the
had advanced on a walk-off intentional walk to lose the game.
What's my job as a manager?
Make sure my team goes on.
Correct. So I mean, hey, you gave me the rules. I would. I think it's a minor thing, but what if he gave it up? What do we say about Mark DeRosa? Dude, you could have moved on.
I would say that you should have a rule change. And while you'd say, well, that's not real baseball, because run differential and scoring runs is a tiebreaker, you should be allowed to bat in the bottom of the 9th inning in that situation for as long as you can stay up. Hey, we've won the game 5-3, but we're continuing to bat because we need 2 more runs.
It's hard, man,
to advance.
When you play tournaments, dude, the run differential stuff is like, I don't, that's why sometimes they do runs against instead of runs for, because then you get guys stealing up 19 runs. You're running up scores in the early rounds. Runs against forces you to kind of play good defense. No screwy,
keeps a little more integrity.
There's more integrity to it with runs against than runs for, because again, those runs for tournaments, you're like, all right, boys, we're running. We're advancing on every wild pitch.
I think that it was the same way in the World Baseball Classic. It's just the runs against would have been tied.
Yeah.
So it would have gone to the next one, which was runs for, which was very intriguing.
It's wild. It does behoove you to score as many runs as you can.
So that means the United States will face Venezuela in the quarterfinals, maybe the hottest team in the tournament right now. Japan or Venezuela, you can make an argument probably for either of them, but very tough road now for the United States to get all the way through.
Okay, so U.S. Venezuela. When is that game?
That game is going to be on.
And where is that?
They're all in Miami. At
all
this
Miami
point.
now.
At this point, after the that last game ended in Japan, the rest of the games will be in Miami. It'll be Italy, Japan just finished, Puerto Rico, Mexico on Friday, tomorrow at 4.
What a game!
And then United States, Venezuela on Saturday at 4 p.m. in the final 2 quarterfinals.
Right.
Yeah, our time, 4 p.m. on Fox on Saturday.
Mama and single elim. This is it. One and done.
One and done. That's it. One game, Lone Depot Park, Miami, Florida.
Mamacita, here we go.
Saturday at 4 p.m.
Who's on the bump? Do we know yet?
I haven't seen starting pitching assignments for that game yet. But my guess is who started the first game for Team USA?
That was Adam Wainwright.
Might be Wayno again then. They didn't do that well in that game. He started the second game.
Yep. Wayno.
So Puerto Rico, Mexico, the United States, Venezuela, Japan, and Cuba are the 6 remaining teams because they've already played 2 of the quarterfinals. The international quarterfinals have already been played. So we're down to 6 teams left in the World Baseball Classic.
So we saw Papa Peter Seidler there last night before the game talking to Manny.
Found my new Halloween costume.
Saw
I dress just like that.
448-foot, just absolute bomb to center field.
So when that game ends and the guys hit the showers and they pack their bags, are they on Peter's plane last night, flying back to Peoria? Or are they chilling in Miami for a couple more days? When
I
do we
think
expect them
we
back?
saw that Xander Bogaerts
He's
and
back.
Ha-Seong Kim got back within almost 48 hours or so from Asia. My guess is that it's not going to take that long for Manny and Juan Soto to rejoin the Padres in Peoria.
Probably today they're on a plane.
Reason I ask, I got a
Probably
DM.
playing tomorrow, maybe.
Got a DM from Billy Woods, no relation. Says, I'm taking the Woods fam to Peoria. Does that mean Manny and Juan will be back at spring training this weekend? Or are they going to wait out the WBC? No, I think they'll come back. Yeah. I just don't know when they'll be back.
No, I'd say you'd probably see him this weekend. I know Bob Melvin wanted to get Bogaerts and Kim back in as soon as possible to work on their chemistry in the middle infield, get a few games under their belt before the start of the season. So, we'll probably see Manny and Soto this weekend some point.
I'll say it again, man. Watching the DR lose should be a cautionary tale for everybody.
All guests on Ben & Woods appear on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. And that guest that's coming up next is the legendary Steve Fisher on the morning of his Aztecs, the program he built in the NCAA tournament against Charleston. Love talking with Coach. That is next with Ben & Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. 7 o'clock, Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I mean, I, as a fan, get so nervous on the NCAA tournament. It really is an unfair amount of pressure for players and coaches to have them play an entire season and then say, okay, now it all comes down to single elimination games going forward. But that's the tournament. That's what's so great about it. But it is stressful as a fan. I can't even imagine what it is like as a coach. But someone who can definitely tell us what it is like as a coach is on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline right now. Always a pleasure to welcome back the great Steve Fisher to Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. Coach, a happy NCAA tournament Thursday to you.
Gentlemen, the same thing to you. And I'm like every fan right now. I'm a bit nervous, but anticipating a great Aztec victory.
Well, we were kicking it around some of our brackets. I let my 5-year-old pick his first bracket. Encourage gambling in their youth. Coach, I let him make his pick. By the way, he has the Aztecs winning the whole thing. So Bo Woods, big Aztecs.
He also has all 4 #1 seeds going out in the first round.
He does. So. He does. He likes he likes to mix it up.
I listened as he made his picks, and I thought this guy's going to be something. He's pretty good. He felt a lot better when he picked the Aztecs.
Wanted to ask you, do you fill out a bracket?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
In the old days, and probably it's still that way, you're not allowed to do it. I mean, in today's world, you turn the TV on and everything's having to do with gambling, the spread, and who's favored, and pools, and et cetera, et cetera. But no, I never have, not since I've been coaching.
So you can still have opinions, though, on the field and the tournament. As you look at this year's field, obviously the Aztecs are your team, but what do you kind of see in shaping up for this year's tournament? A lot of people are saying maybe more parity than we've seen in some of the other tournaments, that the higher seeds could be vulnerable. Do you agree with that assessment?
I think that potential is for sure there. There's no question that there's a closeness. There's not as many blue bloods that you would say they're guaranteed. So I think you can expect the unexpected, but I also am smart enough to know that I believe 8 of the last 10 years, maybe a 1 or a 2 seed has won the tournament, and everybody's talking about the parity. But those 1s and 2s are there for a reason, and they're usually a cut above. However, as we all know, one game and one and done, it's a whole lot different than the NBA. It can happen. It can happen to anybody, and it will. And it will probably happen to at least one of the #1 seeds that'll get beat, and you'll say, how did that happen? But it's there, and that's why all the eyeballs will be watching, and the revenue and fans, and the excitement is there with March Madness.
Talking to the legendary Steve Fisher here on Ben and Woods this morning, and I feel for coaches. I do, because again, Dutch has captained this team to a fantastic season. There's just no other way to look at it. A fantastic year. Could all come crashing down at 2:30 today. How much pressure is on Coach Dutcher today, in your opinion? And have you talked to him and given him any words of wisdom? I know he's still looking for that elusive first victory in the tournament, so I know it's a big one for him.
We talk all the time. I talked to him last night as they made their final, or finished their final preparation for the game against College of Charleston today. And what Dutch has the ability to do, he has the ability to separate on the court, off the court, and doesn't stress about it, which is why he's so good, and which is why he has the ability to keep his team in a state of, even though they know the importance of it, they're not so tense that it will affect in a negative way the outcome of their play. I anticipate our Aztecs to play well, and as you said, Coach Dutcher and his staff have done a magnificent job this year, winning both the conference and the conference tournament. Doesn't happen very often in too many places, and they've had an exceptional year. What we have, and you guys know that, we have, if you play shirts and skins and you don't know who's there, we look like a #1 or 2 seed physically as you watch us walk out on the floor. Our age fits the NCAA tournament, where it shouldn't scare you, the fact that you're there in a big arena and knowing the pressure that's there. So I love our team, the depth they've got, the experience they've got, and I do know the motivation that they have. Doesn't guarantee a win. Strange things happen. But in my opinion, College of Charleston is going to have to play exceptionally well to have the chance to win. They're going to have to make threes, and they shoot a lot of them. And if they make them, it'll be a close game. But I like San Diego State. I like what we've done, and I like what we're going to do, hopefully right now as we start the tournament.
And I can almost guarantee they won't be open threes because the Aztecs always get hands in faces of shots. Doesn't mean they won't make them. We've seen that before. We're talking to Coach Steve Fisher. It's always usually up to me to ask the toughest question, so I'll prepare you for it right now.
What?
I agree with you, Coach. I love this team, and I feel like they're veteran. They're poised. If there's one knock on the Aztecs this year, it's been trouble closing out games. You know, at the last couple of minutes, it seems like the baskets dry up, the turnovers start coming. You wouldn't expect that from these guys. Have you seen anything, any reason why that might happen, and how they can avoid that when, you know, potentially like last year against Creighton, 2 bad minutes at the end of a game could end your season at this point?
I think when it's you, when it's your team, it's magnified. And I'll say this, and you'll say, well, it doesn't matter because it happens to us. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
You can look at every team that's out there, and you've seen leads that they've had, and you say, how can that happen? How can that lead dissipate so quickly? It's the nature of what we do, and it can happen in 3 possessions where you can go on an 8-0 run and to turn it over twice, not even get a shot on goal, and have them right back in the game. But it's reality, and everybody talks about it. I saw, as I said, Ziegler's article today on how the last year Creighton game went, and they talk about the Arkansas game. So we need to win. We need to win today to say, okay, we've notched one thing that hasn't been done. We won an NCAA tournament game, and then you go from there. So, you know, I don't think that Dutch is overly worried about it. And the more you talk about it, the more it's in the mind of the kids. So they don't talk about it. If you watch practice, they rep on things that they need to do better. And they're good coaches, and they do situations every single day, up 2, down 3, et cetera, et cetera. So we're prepared. Now we just need to go out and execute. So hopefully we'll have a game that's not close. But when there is a close game, I think we'll be prepared and we'll play well.
That's right there is the difference in a real coach and, you know, the amateur coaches out there like us, coach, and the amateur GMs. And, you know, the fact that you say, like, watching the last few weeks, especially of Aztecs basketball, like Ben said, when it gets down to crunch time, there's a couple of mistakes, like inbounds have been really, really tough, and they can't seem to execute. Yes, they'll rep on it, but coach isn't going to go in there and harp on it. And you guys are terrible at inbounding the ball. You're horrible. We're going to practice it till the cows come home. That's the difference, I think, in, you know, me coaching a T-ball team. My kids can't throw, and me harping on them for not being able to throw, other than just saying, hey, man, we're just going to rep this. We're going to keep doing this. And eventually the muscle memory will take over.
I think things happen, things happen at times, and you want to put your team in a position to have the best outcome possible. You want the guy that's got calm nerves to be throwing the ball inbounds. You want to get it to your best free throw shooter when you're protecting the lead. So all those things you deal with, and yet it's not a perfect world. So we'll see games. We'll see games today that'll be buzzer shots. There'll be turnovers. There'll be baskets. You'll say, I can't believe it happened. And that's the beauty of what we do. But I'm very much in belief that we've got a team that when winning comes, we're going to win.
And the thing that we always have to remember, other teams make plays too. They really do. They step up and weird things happen. The ball doesn't always bounce your way. But you gotta, all you can do, I guess, coach, is make sure your guys are prepared the very best that you can, and then kind of let the chips fall where they may. I mean, there's really, when you're in a game like that, how tempting is it to overcoach? And you've been there, how tempting is it to say, God, I trust these guys, I trust the game plan, but man, this game's too important. I'm gonna overcoach a little bit here.
There's that fine line. Do I take a timeout with 8 seconds to go, or do I let them make that final play with the broken floor and before, to make a play and read the right play, make the right decisions? So you go with your gut and your instincts, and you go with what you feel is good in the moment, and it's never the same. I mean, I'm an advocate in my later years of coaching. We always fouled under 7 seconds to go for a 3-point set. We always fouled. And yet, sometimes when you always foul, something happens where they don't foul, even though they know they're supposed to foul. So
yep.
Again, that's why we're all going to be watching at 12:10 today when we play, and all the other games, and look very much forward to it. And what we need to do too, and you guys know this, we need to, as a conference, win. We've not had any success lately as a conference, and it started last night with Nevada. I felt badly for Steve Alford and his crew against Arizona State. But our league needs to step up and win a couple, 3 games here in the first round and prove that we are as good a league as we profess to be and people say we are, because we are. But as you said, when it comes to March, that's what people talk about. You look at this league, what they have or haven't done. There was a knock on the Big Ten. They haven't won an NCAA tournament, they say, or an NCAA championship since way back in 2002, I think, or something like that. So every league, every team, every program has it, people talking about it. We're only concerned about San Diego State. And I do believe that this team is prepared, built, and mentally ready to win today, and then whoever we play in that next game, win that next game.
I will say slyly that it's possible that the team that will be in San Diego State's league did win the game last night in Arizona State, but that's a conversation for another day, Coach Fisher. I will end with this. March is a time for magic. I don't think there could be anything more magical than an assistant coach taking over as a head coach and in his first 6 games running off to an NCAA title. We've talked about this before, but when you think back at that run with Michigan, when you took over, how did you manage that in terms of, I mean, were you thinking we still need to win the title? Were you thinking I don't want to embarrass myself in these first couple of games when you were thrown into that situation back there in 1989? Take us back in some of your memories of that title run.
Strange things happen, and great things usually happen to somebody else. The lottery, whatever it might be. I hit the mega lottery in 1989, and somewhat at the expense of Bill Frieder, who I think still was unjustly not allowed to coach the team. He accepted verbally the Arizona State job, and all of a sudden I'm the interim coach, and we win the national championship. That's a fairy tale you make a movie of, but that doesn't happen. It happened, and it happened to me. The nice thing about it is you bow your back, do your job, and you've got 3 weeks. And I had Angie by my side to calm my nerves, and we kind of wrote it out together. They weren't going to hire me. If we had lost the first game to Xavier, I'd have been out at Arizona State as Bill Frieder's assistant. I know that. But we win. We've had great players that performed when it mattered most, and that's what you have to do. That's what you have to be able to do. And we really rode through it until we got to the Final Four and beat an Illinois team that had drubbed us 3 weeks before in our last regular season game, and beat a Seton Hall team that probably wasn't the second best team, and we probably weren't the best team, but we won because on that night we were. And all of a sudden I go from sitting in that second chair to being in the first chair, and we win a national championship. And it was a surreal feeling that never goes away at this time of year. You think you have flashbacks to Glenn Rice making a jump shot, John Higgins laying it in to beat the Illinois team, and going to the White House, and all the crazy stuff that comes with it. And I had a 50-plus year career as a teacher and a coach, and loved every moment of it, from my Rich East High School days, where I could have stayed for 50 years and been perfectly happy, to having the privilege to come to San Diego and close out a career in America's finest city. So I'm one of the lucky ones, and I'm smart enough to know that.
And that's what makes you, Coach.
Jim there made me cry there, Coach. I appreciate it on a Thursday morning.
kidding.
Gosh, man.
Well, good luck to the Aztecs. I know you'll be rooting them on like we are, and thank you as always for your time.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I listen to you every day. I take my little grandson to school at least 3 days a week, and I have you guys tuned in on my radio.
Makes
So
me
he
so
and I
nervous.
listen together.
It makes me so nervous. I'm so sorry, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
He's going to invent some earplugs for his
He's the-
grandson. Yeah,
He's the listener, the tier one of Ben and Woods that freaks me out the
I know he
most.
does.
It really. When Skip Schumacher texted us in the middle of a show one time, that freaked me out. Nothing freaks me out worse than Coach Fisher saying he listens, especially with his grandson.
I think with most
I'm so
people, you
sorry.
say, "Oh yeah, I would have been happy coaching at an Illinois high school for 50 years and been perfectly satisfied." Right? Come on, you wanted with Coach Fisher. You believe it. He's such a humble, just good soul, good man. And think of how college basketball history would have changed had they lost one of those games. He said, I wouldn't have gotten that job.
Yeah,
I would have still
no
been
doubt.
an assistant. I think he would have, of course, eventually been a head coach somewhere, but his path would have been completely different. Would he have ended up at San Diego State? Would the Aztecs program have turned into what it was? Or would they still be floundering, like they were before he got there? We have no idea, but that run changed a lot of things in college basketball in 1989. Magical.
Always special when we get a chance to catch up with Coach.
All right, we missed obviously real or fake. We'll do it a little bit later this hour. A chance to qualify for Vegas, and you need no musical trivia knowledge. We'll have our game coming up, but first, Don't Do This is next. We had a radio host go on an elitist rant that could top no even beyond any elitist rant that I've gone on. I promise you. I didn't
even get a free meatball out of the deal.
It's in that same realm right there.
It's in that vein. I mean, I could do an hour on Met fans reacting. Maybe I'll just pick some of the choice nugs.
We'll get to that coming up back after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Don't do this.
I got a little surprise for you, you know what I'm saying?
Don't do this.
Listen, if I've said something bad, I mean, tell me I'm a bad boy. Just tell me I'm a bad boy.
Why? Just why?
I get the argument. You don't have to explain it to me. I'm not a moron.
Let me tell you why I am a dumbass.
It's time for Don't Do This
Don't do this.
on 97.3 The Fan.
Do listen to 97.3 The Family Odyssey after your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Sam Hunt at Resorts World Theater and a 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas. Every hour you listen now through March 19th equals one entry in the contest. Tickets on sale now at AXS.com. It's April 21st and 22nd. And to kick off our Don't Do This segment, I will defer over here to Stephen Woods.
One of the friends of the program, Stephanie Apstein, we've had her on many, many times.
This story blew my mind.
This is amazing. She tweeted yesterday, I went to journalism school so I could provide you with this exclusive expose. The New York Yankees charge their players for internet on the team plane.
What?
As Adam's ears perk up. It's your fault, they tell one another. Your contract is too big, so they can't pay for the Wi-Fi. This is a true story. So they fly Delta. Delta actually is the one that charges for the Wi-Fi.
It's a charter flight, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time, Aaron Judge gets on and, wants to look at his Twitter or his Instagram or, surf the internet, as the kids say, costs him $9 every time they fly. And they fly a lot. So a person familiar with the prices of such things said an in-flight Wi-Fi plan for the team for 1 year. 1 year, you could knock it all out by paying one fee is about $40,000, or that's about the price of 4 pitches from Garrett Cole. 40 grand. The New York Yankees, by the way, and from what I understand, they run a pretty good organization as far as perks and things like that go. This one, to me, seems like
it's straight out of Major League and Rachel Phelps.
Yes, we're coddling these guys too much. Aaron Judge says, well, I've got T-Mobile and Delta. T-Mobile offers customers free Wi-Fi on Delta flights.
What a great ad that Aaron Judge just did in that story.
Now I need to know what other teams are charging their players for Wi-Fi.
Obviously, the $9 per flight is nothing to those guys, but the whole inconvenience of having to put like your credit card number in every time you get on the team plane, just so you
remember me,
scan the internet and do that. Like, think of how many flights they go on.
All right, so
3 or 4.
A road trip is
bunch.
So like a 3-city road trip will be, so you fly from your home to the first city to the second city to the third city home. So in like 9 days, you 5 flights.
Yeah, dude.
That every time you're having to pay for the internet every single time.
So Jameson Taillon, who pitched for the Yankees last year, said, I didn't pay for it on principle.
He's the me of the Yankees.
Yeah, 100%. Ben, check your Twitter. No,
I'm not on the internet.
He said, I will say the Yankees fly on pretty cool custom plane with poker tables and stuff. So I'd take that over free Wi-Fi if I'm being honest. And then peers across the league, Phillies catcher Garrett Stubbs goes, who told you that? I think they're messing with you. fellow Philly Brandon Marsh said, that sucks. And they have to shave their face. Jazz Chisholm burst out laughing when he heard what the Yankees have to endure. He said, bro, the Wi-Fi didn't even work. I paid $10. Yeah, I'll get suckered on a plane to paying the Wi-Fi sometimes, but depends on the length of the flight. If I'm flying to Arizona, no, I'm good. I'll just play video poker and blackjack on my phone and read a book, call it a day. But if it's cross country, if it's Texas home or Chicago or something like that, yeah, I'm buying that Wi-Fi. It's never great.
No, it's not. I mean, you're in an airplane 35,000 feet in the air. It's amazing that they can get any signal of any sort whatsoever.
General Manager Brian Cashman said, I think most of our players can afford it. He's right. He's absolutely right. That being said, that's one I think you have to wear if you're the New York Yankees. And I bet you, by the way, they're going to get shamed.
It's kind of embarrassing.
It's massively embarrassing. It's them and the Reds are the two teams that do it.
All right. I am constantly on search for radio hosts who are more elitist than I, and I have definitely found one here in our friend Chris Mad Dog Russo, who let's be honest, he's been very successful.
Massive.
Made a lot of money doing sports talk and television over the years.
It may confound the brain that that's the case, but that's absolutely fact.
It's possible he's lost touch a little bit. So he's been appearing on First Take on ESPN, and the story came up during the show yesterday. Tom Hoagie PGA Tour golfer, finished like 4th at the Players Championship. Huge. I mean, that's a $1.5 million prize just for finishing 4th. Yet he tweeted on his flight out of Ponte Vedra Beach, his 0 legroom coach seat,
middle
that he's sitting on,
a middle
seat and coach. And Chris Russo on ESPN yesterday just lost his mind that why would someone who just won $1.5 million subject himself to the rigors of coach flying? And well, I'll just let you listen into Mad Dog.
Did you see Tom Hoagie? He made $1.3 million this week at the TPC. He was in the top 5. Hoagie's a journeyman golfer. This is the golf there, of course, in Ponte Vedra. He went coach on the way home. Now, he doesn't make Smith money.
Oh, Lord.
But $1.3 million to fly coach. Has anybody flown coach lately?
Yeah.
Has anybody been on an airplane lately? What a disgrace. I just came back from the beautiful tan. I just came back from the Caribbean. Can you imagine what they bring on these planes, these people? They bring luggage. They bring tuna fish sandwiches.
Yeah.
They bring black coffee that spills all over the place. They have all these bags. They put the bags in the first class compartment when they're sitting in 36F. This is an absolute disgrace. You can't travel anymore. The airline doesn't give you a darn thing. You get a peanut, you should be happy. A glass of water. No wonder he flies wheels up. And so do I. And so do I. What a day. Okay. I was so freaked out a week ago Tuesday in St. Martin. I'm in a first class seat. It was so jammed, so overwhelmed with people, and so noisy. If I didn't have a volume, I would have jumped out of the cargo door. That's how big it was.
So he's complaining about his first class seat because he's too close to the coach passengers, and he's mad that he's not on his private wheels up jet.
Watching that video, Stephen A is just standing behind him. Dude, he is trying so hard not to laugh.
He's just letting him cook at
He's
that
just
point,
like,
dude. He's
what?
letting him cook.
He's like, what is this man doing?
Well, so, the audio in and of itself is funny. But when we talked about it yesterday off air, Ben and I did, I found out a very, very a new revelation. After, again, almost 5 years together, I found out that Mr. Fancy Pants himself, Benjamin R. Higgins, has never flown first class. Never once.
I can never justify the insanely additional cost.
Here's the funny thing. It's the devil and the angel, right? I want to be fancy, but I'm also cheap. So fancy and cheap is an odd combo. You have no problem dropping, I don't even want to say, for dinner, though. None. That's food. That goes in and it comes right out. You get 5 hours on a plane in peace and quiet. Now, I don't do it often. I've only done it a handful of times, but I've done it.
Like for I'm going to my golf trip next week, North Carolina.
We know.
I think I paid $239 round trip. Pretty good deal. They say you can upgrade to first class for only $800 more. It's like, I mean, that's 4 times what I've already paid for the flight just to be a little more comfortable. That's I just can't justify
I'm kind of with him on that.
That giant increase in expense.
The difference
You're still
is
on a plane.
ridiculous.
The difference
like
is,
if it's $100, everybody would do it.
But I never get that. I don't have like frequent flyer miles where I can do the upgrades or anything like that.
Right,
it's always a giant upcharge.
So let's say you go to check in next Tuesday when you leave, and you put in your ID and your credit card, and you're checking in, the mobile station.
Yes.
And it says, hey, you can upgrade to first class for this leg to you're connecting out of Minneapolis or something. You can upgrade this leg for $165. Are you doing it?
Ooh, 165?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Done.
If you said 100, I would have said yes.
Done. 165 is done.
That's an easy call for you.
A gallon or a tank. Full tank of gas.
All right. Good point.
You always got to check and see if there's better seats. But where are you? Window, aisle? What's your preference?
I'm a window person.
I love a window too.
Yeah. I like to squeeze myself against the side of the plane.
But you're tall, but I also like to.
You could get a little bit of leg room, a little bit more, but
my knees just continue to get hit by people coming by constantly when I'm on the aisle. It's actually worse.
I like to tuck in.
Yeah, I just tuck to the side.
We're late. Should we do this?
Yeah,
it's quick. All right. So this is a pretty cool story.
DD mega doo-doo.
Mitch Keller, listen, the Pittsburgh Pirates don't have a lot to look forward to this season. I think we can all agree on that. They got Andrew McCutchen back. That'll be fun for some fans to watch him finish his career there. But Mitch Keller is a pretty good starting pitcher, and this was a pretty cool moment. when he was called into the boss's office.
How did your side go? Good, really good. Yeah, really good. Threw to Bolecki for the first time, so that was good. Good, getting him in there. Just went over 4 batters, like some stuff. So
How many did you throw? How many did you throw?
20.
About 20 pitches.
20. Okay. How many do you think you'll throw on 30?
On the 30th, opening day.
I got no idea. What's 30th? Opening day.
It's opening day.
Come on.
Come on.
Handshake.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my God, dude.
Hugging it out.
Dude. This has been awesome.
Very well
Oh my god. Very well deserved. Seriously.
Pretty badass.
All the work you put in. Yeah. I'm so proud.
I love that, man. What a rush for a young pitcher to say, hey, man, go out there, opening day, the ball is yours. Woo,
Those
mamacita,
videos
the
every
videos
year will get me,
me.
whether it's starting opening day, cracking the roster for the first
When a
time,
kid gets
mid-season,
when a
hey,
kid
you're
gets
getting promoted.
a scholarship. I mean, I just weep.
No.
I weep when a
Yeah,
kid gets
the film room, the whole team watching. Like, hey, we're gonna bring up so and so.
It's
Everybody
just-
knows him. Yeah,
I love those moments.
Did you see yesterday that Corey Kluber is going to get the opening day
Yeah,
start for the
for the
Red
Red
Sox?
Sox.
That surprised me.
Yeah, that is a bit surprising as well.
That's a good bounce back story right there.
No
to get
question.
the opening day start, but yeah, what a nice moment for that kid. That's
Yep.
great.
Very,
And
very
that's
cool.
do this for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Aaron Rodgers is not a Jet yet. How will it happen? Who has the leverage now in this deal as well? That I mean, it has to happen, right? We'll talk a little football, and we'll play Real or Fake that we didn't get to earlier in the hour. Chance to qualify for a getaway to Las Vegas. All coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Really is kind of eerie when you think about the similarities between the Brett Favre arc and now the Aaron Rodgers arc, the drafting of the younger player who waited 3 seasons, and then the trade to the Jets. This one hasn't happened yet, but I fully expect it to happen after yesterday's announcement that Aaron Rodgers made on the Pat McAfee show. Said he is not holding up a trade. He has made his decision. He has made his intentions clear. And he is just waiting for the Packers.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, okay, let's go for it.
I think since Friday, I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Okay.
And I haven't been holding anything up at this point. It's been compensation that the Packers are trying to get for me and kind of digging their heels in. So I would just I think it is interesting at this point to step back and look at the whole picture. My side, love and appreciation, gratitude for everything that Green Bay has done for me. So much love and gratitude, and just heart open for the Packer fans and what it meant to be their quarterback. And also the reality of the situation, like it is what it is. The Packers would like to move on. They've let me know that in so many words. They've let other people know that in direct words. And because I still have that fire and I want to play and I would like to play in New York. It's just a matter of, getting that done at this point.
The Packers have no cards, man. You don't have any cards. You've already made it.
He kind of did them dirty there. He just took away any negotiating power that they had.
I mean, did he do them dirty? Or
I disagree.
Well, I
disagree.
I don't. He didn't go out of his way to throw them under the bus or anything like that, but you kind of heard it there. He goes, look, I got nothing but love for my time in Green Bay and the fans. They've been telling me for years they were ready to get rid of me, and they've told other people directly like they're trying to get rid of me. So he's like, screw it then, I'm out.
So I'm going to leave. I'm going to play for the Jets, get the trade done. And you don't have much leverage if you're the GM of the Packers and you're like, all right, we want a first, a second. We want this guy. And they're like, we'll give you a 7.
Yeah, the Jets are like, he already said he wants to come here.
You don't want him. You're not going to play him.
But the converse, and I saw Andrew Brandt mention this. Now, you're the Jets. You've already signed Lazard. You've hired Nathaniel Hackett, his Aaron Rodgers' favorite coach. He says he wants to play. Your fan base is going absolutely berserk. What if the Packers kind of hold up the process and say, oh, no, we're not giving up for, less than a first rounder and a third rounder. We're not going to pay that. All right, fine.
But then they have to pay Aaron Rodgers $50 million?
Yes.
You have no leverage. None.
They can say, I guess you're still our starting quarterback.
All right, no problem. I'm not playing.
Well, then they don't have to pay him anymore. He can retire, and then they don't have to pay him anymore.
Why? I don't retire me. I'm not going to retire.
Well,
I'm hurt. I'm hurt. My knee hurts. Can't go. Hey, bro, it's give them what they want. And if you really want to be done with a guy, you guys have all seen Bronx Tale, right? Everyone's seen the movie Bronx Tale? Bro, why are you chasing that kid around for $20? It's $20. It costs you $20 to get that kid out of your life. Guess who's never going to ask you for money again? That guy. $20 is all it costs you to get Aaron Rodgers out of your life. Now, obviously, it's going to be more than that, but you know what I'm saying. If you don't want him, and he's not going to be your starting quarterback, and you've made it clear, and he's made it clear, and you've got the trade partner, get the deal done and get it over with and move into the. You can't dig your feet in for an extra draft. It's fun to do, and I'm sure you asked for the moon, but at the end of the day, you can't. You got to just say, all right, whatever we need to do to get this thing done, let's do.
But what did the Texans get for suspended Deshaun Watson? Or that was a free agent deal.
Yeah, that was free agent.
But there's been some massive exchanges of picks that have gone on for lesser quarterbacks than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
The Packers can't, I think, do a service to their own organization, their fans, and not try to get the most they can possibly get and try to get a fair exchange for a Hall of Fame quarterback. You just give away Hall of Fame quarterbacks for nothing.
No, but he's kind of got you over a barrel. I mean, you're going to kind of have to take what you give and hope that, some of those picks pay off. I mean, that's really the only thing they painted themselves into a corner in Green Bay.
Well, I'm curious to know what the real offers are. What have the Jets offered?
Of course.
7th rounder. Yeah. Say no. Right. I mean, well, no, you got to give us something good or decent for it.
The willingness to move on from Aaron Rodgers is telling people you want to move on from Aaron Rodgers is where you blew it. That's where you blew it. Because you can always say, if you're their GM, he's under contract, and Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer, and he's a Super Bowl winner, and he's a multiple MVP.
And
obviously,
the Packers
we want him
didn't say it out loud.
Obviously, we want him to be our starting
Rodgers
quarterback.
says the Packers have said it, and it's kind of gotten out. And
well, the fact that they're even entertaining trading him to the Jets says that it's true.
it is true. Obviously,
Right.
it's true.
It's clearly true. I don't know, man. Negotiating's hard. It's hard. There's an art form to it. It's not an easy thing to do. I think the Packers have really shot themselves in the foot here. So you got to be rid of the guy, man. If you want to get rid of him, and you want to go to Jordan Love, and that's your guy moving forward and turn the page, just take what they give you and just be done. And yeah, you're going to get roasted your entire lives. You only got a 6 for Aaron Rodgers. Yep. He had us backed in the corner. What are we supposed to do? He's not going to play for us. We didn't want him to play for us.
I think you're underestimating. The Jets have some pressure to get this deal done now as well.
Dude, the Jets live in pressure. Their whole franchise is under pressure because they don't do
and they've done
anything.
so well under all that pressure over the years.
Well, this is a move, and I don't know. He's not going to. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to lead
Well, that's the
him to
other part of it. Is this even worth it?
12 and
for the
5.
Jets?
Right. I don't know that he's going to lead him to a 12-5 record. Tell you what, though, they're better off if they're better off when that deal gets done than they were 15 minutes before it. In my opinion, and we'll see how it plays out. Certainly, we've seen quarterbacks go and just die there. Really good quarterbacks just die.
All right, we need a contestant for a real or fake chance to qualify for Vegas, and you don't even need to take on Woods. Call now 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We'll play our game in just a minute. First, this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture, home of the world-famous Bob-O-Pedic mattresses with all the comfort and quality of a national mattress brand at half the price. No matter your budget, there's a Bob-O-Pedic memory foam hybrid or hybrid plus mattress for you. Check them out at mybobs.com. We'll play our game right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the San Diego County Sheriff's Department. Got a couple of new problems to let you guys know about. One of them is a crash on the northbound side of the 805. This is right past Imperial. Appears to be blocking the left lane, and westbound King Freeway right at the southbound 805 connector ramp. We have reports of a collision blocking the slow lane. We still have this crash on the eastbound side of the 8, approaching the 125. They're trying to clear that out of the right lanes. The San Diego County Sheriff's Department is working hard to keep San Diego safe and is now hiring. The Sheriff's Department offers rewarding careers with growth and has an opportunity for anyone with integrity that wants to make a difference. Go to joinsdsheriff.net to learn more. That's joinsdsheriff.net. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
For the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. Yeah, you can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
We're trying to qualify listeners for a getaway to Las Vegas, 2 nights at the Westgate Las Vegas. Tickets to see 38 Special in concert at the Westgate, the International Theater. We've got our contestant on the line. We've got Lucas. Lucas, good morning. Welcome to Real or Fake.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, Real or Fake, by the way, today brought to you by Home Turf. Save time and water with pet-friendly, always green grass, and get a free consultation by calling the team at Home Turf at 888-4SD-TURF or go to sdhometurf.com. So, Lucas, today is the day when you need to find True TV on your channel guide. The Aztecs, many other games are going to be played in the NCAA tournament. But does anyone ever stick around after college basketball to watch the other shows on the network? And to be fair, it's about 70% Impractical Jokers, which I don't watch, but I have found some other lineup fillers. So today on Real or Fake, I'm going to give you the name of a television program. You tell me if it's a real show you can watch on True TV or a fake I have made up for our game. Got it, Lucas?
You got it.
All right. Real or fake?
And I can help
True
you too.
TV shows.
But I don't know how much help I'll give you.
All right. Round 1, Lucas. You need to get 4 out of the 7 to qualify. Round 1. Lowrider Ladies. Real or fake?
Real.
No, fake.
One of
Oh, for one.
Ben's adult film selections, potentially.
That's all right. We often start slow. We build in this game. All right. Round 2, Lucas. Yes, that can kill you. Real or fake?
Fake.
That is fake.
Ooh,
very
very
good.
good.
1 point for Lucas. He is on the board. All right, let's go to round number 3. Hack My Life.
Hack
My Life.
Hack My Life.
Real or fake, Lucas? True TV television show.
I'm gonna go with fake again.
No, it's real. Real. Not sure exactly what it's about.
Life hacks.
Life hacks. Yeah,
What's
all
the
right.
hack you gave the other day?
Hack.
How to
I
get
thought you said pack.
Hack?
Yeah,
No,
hack.
hack. Oh, that's all right. Oh, you still can win this game. Don't worry. We're still round 4. All right. Real or fake? Outback Doctors. Real or fake, Lucas? Outback Doctors.
That one can't be real. Fake.
Fake. Very good. All
Okay,
right.
mate.
2-2. Yeah. You know,
Doctors
Cheers,
on the
mate.
Yeah.
treating like, horrible snake bites. And
Yes.
I would watch that show, actually. but I
Kangaroo
made that one
punches.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Round 5. You need 2 more. The Justine Bateman Show. Real or fake, Lucas? The Justine Bateman Show.
Say fake again. I have no clue.
That is fake.
I'd
Yes.
say fake as well.
I thought that was going to fool
I
someone.
had a little crush on her.
Did you?
Growing up, yeah. She's on
Family Ties, yeah.
Yeah, big fan.
Jason's sister.
Yep.
Justine Bateman. All right, all you need is 1 more, and you win our game here. Round 6, real or fake? Adam ruins everything, Lucas. Real or fake?
That is real.
It is.
Oh
yes.
my God.
It's real.
That's a real show?
It's a real show.
Yeah,
I did not
live it every day.
I did not make that up for you, Woods. That is a win for Lucas. Congratulations. You are in our drawing for Las Vegas. Stand on the line, Paulie will get all your information necessary. What is Adam? Do we know what Adam ruins everything
it's
is about?
a guy, and he's sitting at his house on Twitter, and he's just retweeting stuff, and he's texting me and calling me and texting Paulie and asking Paulie to make graphics. Hey, Paul, I need 4 graphics in case Tatis, Soto, Bogarts, or Machado might win the MVP this year.
It sounds
Poor
like
Paulie.
a terrible sitcom.
In Adam Ruins Everything, host and investigative comedian Adam Conover embarks on a comically inventive yet unrelentingly serious quest to reveal the hidden truths behind everything you know and love.
Adam ruins everything. Oh, you ruin everything, Adam.
You ruin everything.
Boo.
We're just playing, buddy. We love you.
Congratulations, Lucas. You are a winner. We will come back. We've got a lot more to get to here on Ben and Woods, including our tournament of drops.
Yes, now
we have
we're
some
talking.
upsets
Now we're talking.
to reveal coming up next on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Thursday. About an hour away from some March Madness games.
Hour 15 minutes.
Hour and 15 away. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's our executive producer and YouTube director. You can follow us on YouTube at Ben and Woods. Smash that subscribe button.
It's got to be a producer and a director at the same time.
Drop a like. Yeah.
Shout out to the Noti Gang.
We've got
there are a lot of buzzwords on.
We've got
YouTube.
like right now as we speak, there's like 150 people watching us on YouTube, and it is trippy. And Ben Higgins, Friendly Neighborhood Sports Anchor here
Hi,
as
YouTube.
well. The YouTube stream has been a really cool thing, other than the list of chubby celebrities that I get compared to on a daily basis.
Where are we at now on that?
Let's see. I got
Kevin James.
I got Kevin James. I got
Big Ed.
John
with no
Candy.
neck. No, I did not
Oh,
get
you
John
didn't get
Candy
John
yet.
Candy?
I got yesterday. I got Tom Arnold was a new one. So
That's right.
I
That's
think
what it was.
I think about the guys that I used to get compared to,
Tom Arnold.
and there were 3 standard, and it happened all the time back in college. I used to get Judd Nelson, Vince Vaughn, and Robert Downey Jr. What I wouldn't do to be compared to any one of those guys now, instead of Big Ed with no neck, Kevin James, and Tom Arnold.
Robert Downey Jr. used to be problematic. Now he's Iron Man. That's an upgrade.
Yeah. I mean, but those I'm talking about looks. Those are
Vince Vaughn is I mean, he's kind of gone both ways.
He has. I'm not talking about being problematic. I'm talking
No,
about
I mean in terms of
appearances.
looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, it is very interesting stuff.
I've been called a tall Tom Cruise before.
In your mind.
He's very short though.
He's very short.
And I'm very tall.
So Lenny is writing us right now on YouTube. He says, really trippy to see the faces to the voices. Paul, I imagine looking more like Ben, but with the stature of what Woods looks like. I imagined Woods looked like Paul, but 20 years older. And then he says, this is the best show in the history of SD Sports. Lenny, I love you already.
Thank
You
you.
can call me anything that you want. But I really appreciate it. Tall Tom Cruise. We all view ourselves differently. Who does Ben look like? Who is the celebrity that you get? I've seen Bobby Bacala from The Sopranos. I've seen that a lot.
You've seen that
many
about
times.
me.
Yeah, many times, like 100 times. You've never seen it? I'm
I've
sorry.
never seen
I
that.
didn't do that. I didn't say that. I'm just bringing it to you what others have said. It's not ideal either.
It's not. I agree with that. He's much bigger than even I am.
He is. He's a big guy, but you're very tall.
Yes.
Very
He's
tall.
also tall.
He's tall.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
The
tallness.
the
I mean, I
height.
have dark hair.
Yes.
In that vein of, kind of Italian dark hair.
Both your names start with B.
Yeah. Bobby, Ben. That's really has nothing to do with looks, though.
Right. Somebody says you look nothing like Bobby. That's good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Con Rob.
Tom Cruise. Nice, Ben. Thank you. See?
Wood's voice sometimes reminds me of Robert Downey Jr. That is true. Yeah, so that the chat feature on the YouTube, I could live without it, but I'm passionate about your passion. But yeah, Ben, your number one, though, is Carl DeMaio. That's who you look like the most.
That was you. You thought I was Carl DeMaio.
No, I thought Carl DeMaio was you.
Former, congressional man, radio host in town. You thought Carl DeMaio was me. And then you thought that when I was walking around the building not saying hi to you, that I was.
Ben's number one is David Alvarez. 1,000%.
Oh, that's true.
It's
Yeah.
identical.
I mean, if we're going to go with local politicians.
Yes. Well,
that one is, he's much shorter than I am as well.
So I was in the building across the street when I was doing part-time work there, trying to get back to a full-time gig. And I'm walking the halls there, and a guy walks by, and I said, hello. And he looked at me and didn't say hello. And I said, that's Ben Higgins, I think. And our friend John, our mutual friend John Gennaro, texted me about something. I go, hey, what's that Ben Higgins problem? That guy's kind of a D. And he goes, Ben? And I go, yeah, he sucks. I said hello today. He didn't even say hi. And he goes, that's not Ben. That couldn't be. Ben Higgins is like the nicest dude in the world. And I go, well, not to me. Clearly he's heard, that I'm not whatever. Like I said, that guy sucks. And then turns out it wasn't you. It was in fact Carl DeMaio. So I apologize.
Thank you
for the case of mistake.
Now the irony is that I probably am just what you thought I was, someone who wouldn't be friendly. and say hello.
Now 5 years later, I also know that he wouldn't say hello in a hallway if pressed.
I would try to, but it would be awkward and I wouldn't know what to do and I would just shuffle past.
I think that you use that as an excuse. I think you are a nice guy. But you're like, I can't. I'm so awkward. I just don't think you like talking to people.
Yeah, I'm a bit introverted that way.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But you do 2 extroverted jobs.
That's very true.
So that's the weird part of it for me. I'm like, that dude loves being on camera and he loves being on microphone. And then he's like, I can't talk. I'm too introverted. Like, what? Are you kidding me?
I am definitely the most introverted person who spends all day on radio
media
and television.
You are a walking contradiction.
There's no doubt about that. All right, let's fire it up. It is time to continue our annual tournament of drops. And we have finished the first round.
Come on, guys.
The bracket
we have
has
moved
been
into the
busted.
Sweet 16. And after a lot of chalk in the first round, we've had some big surprises. Paulie, lay the winners on us, and I'll call up these vote totals.
All right, we will start off with the results from the Sweet 16 matchup yesterday. We go to the Bend region. We had the number 1 overall seed, the Carving Guy. Have you tried the lasagna yet? And that is done.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
The number 1 seed
Not even
has been
making it
knocked
to
off.
the Elite 8. It is out.
That was the number 1 overall.
It fell to the 4 seed and Juan Soto. Good morning, everybody.
So that wasn't even close,
It wasn't.
actually. 73.7% go for Juan Soto's high-pitched good morning over Carving Guy's. Have you tried the lasagna? So out goes Carving Guy, one of the Carving Guys in the tournament.
Yeah,
and
there's
Juan
more.
Soto
Not the only one.
moves on to the Elite 8.
What do you mean not the only one?
Oh, Carving Guy took some L's
He
yesterday.
took a beating. Yeah, maybe people are tired of Carving Guy. Got to come up with a new bit.
The other Sweet 16 matchup in the Bend region was the 3 seed, Ben, and him trying to roll his R's. That did lose to Carving Guy, the 2 seed.
Do you like hot fudge sundaes?
See, lasagna to me is better than that, but
And-
he's going up against Juan Soto.
And I thought the Rolling R's might be the one of mine that could go the deepest in the tournament, but 53.7% of you out there voted for Hot Fudge Sundays over 46.3 for it's flapping. There it is. Over the Rolling R's, or the lack of Rolling R's by yours truly.
So now we go down to the Paul region, and another number 1 seed goes down. Carving Guy, did you catch the game last night in maybe the closest matchup
Ever.
in Ben and Woods Tournament of Drops history?
How's this
Ever.
possible?
It fell to the 5 seed, Blake Snell.
What?
Hold on. Remix.
That's moving on.
50 essentially, but 50.2% for Blake Snell.
Oh.
49.8% for Did You Catch the Game last night?
I love that one.
I mean, this is hundreds of votes. So we're talking.
Did you catch your game last night?
We're still talking the difference of like 3 or 4 votes out of hundreds of votes made the difference here. That's why they say you got to get out the vote. Don't
Your vote
assume
matters.
your vote
Yeah,
matters.
Your vote literally matters
in this
man.
tournament. You could have changed that with
You
a
can't change
couple
the
of
course of
clicks.
history.
But here, Blake Snell moves on into the Elite 8.
And wrapping up the Paul region, the Cinderella, or at least the Cinderella hopeful, Manny, the 6 seed. Look at Nelly Cruz, fell to the number 2 seed, Ben Higgins.
Where are these cream pies coming from?
Yeah, that's a sneaky one.
Very few things where if I'm going to go up head to head against Manny Machado,
You're
then
gonna
I am
win.
going to prevail.
Yeah.
But in this case, by a 2-1 margin, 66.7% to 33.3%, cream pies moves on to the Elite 8.
So we'll have that drop against Blake Snell, and then Carving Guy Hot Fudge Sundays against Juan Soto. Good morning. So that brings us to today's matchups. We've got 4 Sweet 16 matchups in the Woods and Adam region. We will start off with the number 1 overall seed from the Woods region.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
That is going up against a 5 seed, Jorge Alfaro.
Let's go San Diego.
I don't know. Who's more foul-mouthed out of that duo, Bo Woods or Jorge Alfaro?
That's a good question.
It's a really, really good question.
Jorge, by the way, raking or
mashing
was mashing in the WBC.
Yeah.
thought you were going to keep talking. I drink some coffee.
Sorry, go ahead.
So
matchup number 2.
the other
Elite
matchup
Eight.
in the Woods region is
Sweet
a
16.
2 versus 3 matchup. The 3 seed, Jerry Jones.
There it was. Glory hole.
Going up against a carving guy drop.
Is it still hot out there?
Ooh.
The 2 seed.
Well, now that I've seen how the voters are reacting, I'm not sure that I wouldn't say that Jarrah has become the favorite.
That's such a good one, man.
In this matchup, even though it's a 3 over. Sometimes the 3 seed, when the odds makers get a hold of it, will make them the favorite over the 2 seed. And in this case, I may have them as a slight favorite now.
And then we can move on to the Adam region. 2 more matchups here. The number 1 overall seed in the Adam region.
Is it extra sweet because it's against the Dodgers?
Massive winner in round 1. Like nearly every single vote went to that drop.
Now that drop hits on so many different levels. It's got the funny. It's got the us making fun of Adam. You remember that drop because we beat the Dodgers. It's going up against the 5 seed though, Jesse Agler. Also channeling that same moment.
The series is over.
I love Jesse like a brother. I love Adam like a brother. But there, in no universe is Jesse's. And as great as that moment was, they're both the same moment. By the way,
right?
I mean, they're both the same night, same moment.
About an hour apart from each other, maybe. Half an hour.
Yeah, about a half an hour apart.
It's funny how the brackets work out this way. Where you get these intriguing matchups.
Is it extra sweet because it's against the Dodgers?
If I could get it, I wish I could get it tattooed on my body.
Maybe the
Like an
new favorite in the tournament.
MP3.
Especially now that Carving Guy has gotten less support than we thought they came out of a great conference. Carving Guy, all the match, maybe not as strong as we thought, and that leaves perhaps Adam and Extra Sweet as our new favorite in the tournament.
Well, again, on the left side, the Ben and Paul regions, no number 1 seeds.
Wow.
Yeah.
As
Woods picked that one
go
too.
into the Elite
He
Eight.
hates the 1 seeds.
And then the final matchup in the Adam region for the Sweet 16, we have the 3 seed, one of the few Carving Guy drops remaining.
All right.
One of the simple ones.
Yeah,
And that is going up against our pal, the coach caller.
Okay, how are you?
So good when you play it all the way out as well. But I mean, the drop is okay. How are you going up against All Right, which is another intriguing matchup.
I mean, okay, how are you?
I'm all right. I
Joe
mean, it's
in
like
San Diego. Thanks for hanging in there, my
I
friend.
can play it
Welcome to
every day.
97.3 The Fan. How are you today?
all right.
Okay, how are you?
I'm doing well. You want to come out and give blood today, Joe?
Okay, how are you?
What?
I'm doing great.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, how are you?
It's like a recording. It kills me it's like unsolved mysteries. I want to do a documentary about that phone call.
Holy crap.
I think that one gets my vote. Okay, how are you? Guy wrote me, he goes, I almost wrecked my car. I was laughing so hard when you guys played the full one. I go, dude, it laid me out. It's just
Okay, how are you?
just the best.
All right, so those are the matchups. The rest of the
Polls
Sweet
are up.
16 matchups, you can go to our Ben and Woods
getting
Twitter
tough.
page. You can vote, see the results as they happen, and tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., we will be down to just 8 remaining seats, and then we'll wrap up the tournament next week. We don't take nearly as long as college basketball does.
No.
to finish this thing out. It'll be wrapped up by the middle of the week next week.
We rip right through this thing.
So good luck to all the entrants in the tournament of drops. We're going to take a time out. When we come back, we continue our Tier 1 tour. I believe we were just talking about them. The Pittsburgh Pirates don't necessarily need a 30-minute discussion on the Pittsburgh Pirates, but they do have some good players.
Maybe not even a 3-minute discussion, but we can get your asses in the seats.
But we've promised to talk about every single team, and the Pirates are next up on our list. So we'll get to that after a check of traffic with Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. All right, join 97.3 The Fan on Thursday, March 30th at Happy Does, 340 Fifth Avenue for opening day, presented by Coors Light, made to chill. We'll be broadcasting live. Coach Quintero will as well, 6 a.m. to noon, leading up to the opener this season. We did it last year right out on Fifth Avenue. Stop on by, have an early start to your day. We should have a really good time. But we need to finish up our Tier 1 tour before we get to opening day. We've been going team by team, doing previews of Padres opponents in order. And today we take a look at the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have become a franchise really known for their futility and lack of success over the last 10, 15 years. But honestly, they don't have a bad lineup.
It's really not that bad.
It's not bad at all.
It's really, it's not. And I could see, Ben, if you are a Pittsburgh person, why you would be
a Pittsburgher.
Pittsburgher. Yeah, is that what you call them?
I think so.
It's Pittsburghite.
Pittsburgher.
You would be
Pittsburghian.
Pittsburghian. You would be pretty excited about going to see this ball club this year, assuming that everybody stays healthy, assuming that you get some production. But as far as your young talent, man, this reminds me a lot, Ben, of some lineups here in our beloved San Diego. Also with a very beautiful ballpark. They have a phenomenal ballpark in Pittsburgh. But you have a young O'Neill Cruz, who is one of the most exciting players in baseball. Now they're projecting him to have his first his projected WAR is about 3 this year. I just learned too, he was a Dodgers prospect. How
did they get him? Who did they trade to the Dodgers?
So they signed him as an amateur free agent in 2015. Then he was traded with Angel Herman for Tony Watson for some bullpen help. Now, all I ever hear about are the crap trades that AJ Preller's made. Never that the brilliant Dodgers who do everything right, they would never trade away a potentially franchise-altering player like O'Neill Cruz, because why would they need a shortstop now? They've got Miguel
Trey
Rojas.
Turner gone and Gavin Lux hurt. O'Neill Cruz would come in very handy for the Dodgers right now.
I would think so, Ben, but what do I know, my friend? They did bring Andrew McCutchen back, definitely in the sunset of his career. But don't forget, they still have Brian Reynolds, and I don't know where talks have gone. I know that he's been rumored to be here for many trade deadlines. My understanding is they made him a deal, an offer, and it was really, really poor. And he said, "Nope, I'm good." And I think he hits free agency after this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, I think you're right. The top 4: O'Neill Cruz, Brian Reynolds, Brian Hayes, G-Man Choi. I'm not sold that Andrew McCutchen's more than a
McCutchen,
bring in some fans and a blast from the past kind of guy. But if he throws it back, you can make an argument there. And then
Jack Sawinski's a good player. He was a former Padre prospect as well. They have a
defensive first catcher.
They have a familiar face behind the dish. Pittsburgh, and one Austin Hedges will be playing for the.
God, that's right. He's in Pittsburgh.
The Buccos. Now, one of my favorite guys alive is Connor Joe. Got a chance to know him a little bit. He's going to be in Pittsburgh as well. I think he signed as a free agent deal over there. Their rotation, as we talked about earlier, Mitch Keller. They got the veteran Rich Hill.
Yeah.
They're going to eat some innings up. JT Brubaker's okay. Vince Velasquez, we saw him in San Diego.
Yeah.
Their bullpen,
it's not good.
Their bullpen, they got a couple of guys. David Bednar's really good. He's a former Padre.
David Bednar's
well.
an all-star.
Yep.
He's doing great. He's playing for Team USA right now at the World Baseball Classic.
So,
but pitching will probably be the undoing of this team. They just don't have enough to compete, especially they're not in the toughest division, I guess, but still against the Cardinals and the Brewers, they're probably going to come up short again this year. What's their over-under win total?
I'm looking for it right now.
Where did they go last year?
I'm looking for it all. Back-to-back 100-loss seasons, haven't had a winning record since 2015. So I don't know what they have them projected as, but I don't know. Like, there's players there that I want to watch. Is that game in Pittsburgh or is that game here? Or those games here?
I'll set their win total at 65.5.
It's in Pittsburgh? Damn it.
Well, they'll come here
they're
eventually,
coming here
too.
Eventually,
they're a National League team.
Yeah.
So.
I do want to watch those guys play because they do have some players.
They'll be here in July.
I really enjoy watching some of those. I love Brian Hayes. I love O'Neill Cruz. Sawinski's going to be a pretty good slugger for them. So yeah, there's some dudes I want to watch. They need pitching. They need desperately some arms. But so yeah, the Pittsburgh. You said it at what?
65.5.
I'll take the over.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so not 100-loss season
Yeah.
for a third straight year.
Yeah, I think they can get above that.
All right, let's go out to the phones. Kevin's been holding on. I wanted to talk about Aaron Rodgers. We were discussing the leverage between the Jets and Packers earlier. Kevin, good morning. Welcome to Ben and Woods.
Hey, good morning, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show. Long-time listener, first-time caller, Padre fanatic. Looking forward to the season.
Thank you, buddy.
I don't know about you guys, but I am just, I'm a huge football fan, not a Packer fan, but tired of hearing about Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
And I know the Packers front office has done a poor job, handling him, but it kind of seems like every year that we go through this with Aaron Rodgers at the end of the season. They gave him a 3-year, $150 million deal, and he's still not all in. And you're watching him off the field. What's Aaron Rodgers going to do? Is he going to come back or not? And he loves stringing along the fans and the in the front office. So I just don't know what Aaron Rodgers wants. And I heard the clip that you guys played about him saying that the Packers don't want him anymore. And I think that's equal. Aaron Rodgers, he has not been all in with the Packers for several years now.
Yeah, good point.
So he's a Hall of Famer. He's going to go into the Hall of Fame. But I just kind of think that I think he wants out equally, and he's been trying to get the Packers to force their he kind of brilliantly forced the Packers' hand. And they kind of, didn't handle this, very good. But I think, Aaron Rodgers, hasn't really owned up to the fact that, he doesn't want to be a Packer.
It's a good point that you make.
Kevin, yeah, thanks for the call. But does anyone think that he's going to be all in with the Jets? I mean, maybe for a little bit, but I don't think he's all in. I think Aaron Rodgers, he's hurt his image the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know that he cares that much, but my impression is that he's going to go, and if things aren't just like he wants, he'd be pitching a fit somehow quietly. He won't do it so overtly, but it'll become known what he's unhappy about, and things aren't going that well. It's not what he expected in New York. Isn't that the feeling that you've gotten from Aaron Rodgers in recent years?
He's just a different cat, man. He's just not somebody that is.
I've wanted to like him.
Me too. I used to like him a
really
lot.
have. Yeah, I did as well. But
he's a different dude, man. He's just a different guy, and different isn't always wrong.
It's not his job to make us love him.
It's also not his job to give everybody what they want when they want it.
True.
Right? Like that's not what he's there to do. The point that Kevin made that I really enjoyed is actually true. And they talk about it. They've talked about it for the last 3 off seasons or so. Every other quarterback okay, I'm the starting quarterback. Paulie, you're coming down to my house in Florida. Ben, you're coming to my house in Florida. Guess what we're doing this summer? We're working out. We're doing running routes. We're getting in the playbook together. We're going to get chemistry going. It's massively important, especially for that combo of players,
right.
Quarterback and receiver. It's like, what's more important? Maybe your double play partner, maybe your battery, the guy that you pitch to. Yeah. But dude, for the last 3 seasons, they're like, no, man, haven't done anything. I mean, it's weird. He doesn't go to mini camp. He doesn't do any of that stuff. So it's very, very strange to me. So yeah, that's the buy-in that I think Kevin's talking about.
It's interesting. Lenny says here on chat, weird how people aren't pro player anymore when it comes to Rodgers.
Yeah.
He's wanted out for a couple of years and the Packers never let him. Why blame him?
Did he signed that deal though? He signed that 3-year, $150 million extension. Smart. I mean, I'd sign it too. It's a lot of dough.
I don't want to say reluctantly.
I will acknowledge there is some hypocrisy.
Yes.
In that we are constantly saying, hey, give the players their respect.
Give Lamar Jackson give
him what he wants.
What he wants, yeah.
Yet, when Aaron Rodgers then tries to take advantage of it and use the power, he has accumulated enough power to write his own ticket.
Yeah, no doubt.
But then when he flexes it,
people get mad.
It's unappealing.
Yeah, people
it's
get mad.
unappealing to see him flex that power that he has gotten.
Yeah,
in the league. So, but then again, you hear the stories, and I
see. The funny part is I like the stories. I think the stories are funny. The Darkness Retreat, the ayahuasca. I look at that and I go, cool, do what you want, man. Whatever you need to do to get
the
through.
Break with his own family, though.
That's
it
tough.
could be the family's fault. I'm not here to blame Aaron Rodgers. It's just one thing after another, after another, after another. If it was one or two quirky little things, we celebrate them. But why is it every week it feels like we're hearing another weird Aaron Rodgers story?
Yeah,
it's just maybe too much now. It's become too much for me.
I just, look, I'm go get your team, go to the Jets. You got all the players, they're going after all the players you wanted, and go out and try to win another Super Bowl before you hang them up, man. That's really should be the goal.
And if that's what he does, that's great. That's great for Jets fans. That's exactly what they're looking for. But they're not looking for a guy who just wanted to get out of Green Bay,
right?
And, squeezing a year out of his career. They want someone who's all in to win a championship with the New York Jets. And if they get that, he can be as quirky and Aaron Rodgers-y as he wants, because he's doing what you do have to still serve the fans if you're a player. I get that players, we think they deserve the respect and what they've earned, but the reason you have this job, that you're making the money, is not the owners, it's the fans. If you didn't have fans who were willing to buy tickets and watch you on TV, no one would make any money. So I do think that every athlete has a responsibility to give what they can for the fans.
Yeah.
I see some skepticism in your eyes.
It's not skepticism necessarily. I mean, it's part of it. Yeah. I mean,
but I don't think that athletes should play hard for their owners because they're writing the paycheck. They should play hard for the fans.
Yeah.
They're the ones that make all of this possible.
They're teammates, that play hard for your team.
I think Aaron Rodgers did.
I think he did.
I mean, he still put up his numbers.
100%. I mean, play for your city. That's the city and the fans. I agree.
Honestly, in the NFL, that city in particular,
no doubt,
it's crazy.
That's what you want. That's what you want. You want that love, and you're going to get it in Green Bay if you're a guy of his caliber. But I'd say he wore it for Green Bay pretty well.
So if you're a Packers fan, how are you feeling?
Probably weird. You're probably feeling very weird.
Super conflicted.
I would imagine.
It's a Throwback Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Paulie is going to dig out of the archives, but he always finds something from around this date, whether it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years ago.
A couple from on this date. Exactly, actually.
Exactly on this date in our Throwback Thursday segment. We'll do that coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Oh, smooth as it gets. Gonna have to do a little shout out to his family.
And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
71 years. It's been a while. 71 years old. Bobby Caldwell, great soul singer, passed away yesterday. And the interesting thing about Bobby Caldwell, Paulie, I don't know. Have you heard the song before?
I've heard the song. I didn't recognize the name.
His stuff has been sampled by the greats of hip hop, Tupac, and on down the list. But funniest thing about Bobby Caldwell is that for the longest time, everybody thought Bobby Caldwell was black. And he is not black. He's very white. In fact, he was so funny on Twitter, too. Like up into like 3 weeks ago, somebody tweeted, "There's no way Bobby Caldwell has been a white man this whole time." I'm screaming, crying, throwing up. He writes back, "I'm sorry. Please feel better soon. Love, Bobby." So I didn't know. I had heard that. I'd seen it. There's reaction videos of people going, "No way." Because it is so much soul in that time, too, when all that soul music was coming out. Guy came out and you're like, all right. So he knew that. He knew that. And they wanted to market him to R&B type radio stations. But they also knew in 1978, like, nobody's going to listen to this white guy singing stuff. So they had a picture of him on the front. And he goes, no. Let's do a picture of me, but a silhouette sitting on a park bench. And it's just a silhouette. And so nobody had any idea. And for the longest time,
they got a very cool, like, Miles Davis-y hat kind of on. It just, you just fill in the blanks. Your mind creates an image of what you think that person looks like.
And your mind creates an image of what you think what color you think that person is based on the way they sound.
Yeah.
And Bobby Caldwell, yesterday, the white community, the black community, everybody was like, oh my God, Bobby. And there's still people yesterday going, wait. He was white. They still didn't know, even on the day he died. But man, that was like a staple growing up. Bobby Caldwell passed on to the next plane at 71 years old, and funny till the end. Kind of embraced it till the end, and rest in peace. Shout out to his family.
It's also, shout out to his family. It's also a Throwback Thursday. Paulie, you're going to take us back here, or let's do traffic. And then you can take us back to this date in Ben & Wood's history. First, this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Pfizer and BioNTech. Today's forecast says it's a great day to stay in the loop on COVID-19. Sign up now for reliable information on COVID-19 and a vaccine option, resources, and more at PfizerCovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. We get back in the Wayback Machine after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Denick.
We still have a few trouble spots here. Collision on the westbound King Freeway right before the 5. That is over to the right shoulder. Still clearing an accident on the East Street on-ramp to northbound 5. In the North County, want to remind you of this closure. Westbound 78, full freeway closure between College and El Camino Real, all due to some pothole repairs. So be prepared to be diverted off the freeway prior to that. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we're rolling up to our 5-year anniversary here in less than 2 weeks. So we're starting to build kind of a base of this date in Ben & Woods history. Paulie, take us back on the Throwback Thursday.
Okay, I got a couple of different ones here. We'll do the short one first. And this one has a little bit of an asterisk next to it because I don't believe that the actual drop happened on this date. But on this date in 2020, we were doing our tournament of drops. That would have been the 2nd annual, I believe. And we were talking about this drop right here.
Oh, my God.
And we were trying to figure out when and where that came from. And I tracked it down. So it's a very short clip, but listen to this.
That's it.
That was it. That's our West and East region first round tournament of drops matchup.
We should go to the Masters as a show.
Boom.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's where it came from.
Wow. That would be fun.
That's where it came from? Yeah. Do it again. We should go to the Masters as a show.
Oh, my God. That's the one thing.
Holy cow.
That's the one thing.
I just
now it makes sense.
It's blowing my mind even to this day, that reaction to just, hey, we should go to the Masters as a show.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That would be so amazing.
Did you hear that?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We should go to the Masters as a show.
Oh my god.
There's
I
a small,
really want to go to the Masters.
There's literally a small part of me that doesn't believe that's real.
I
There's
know.
a small part of my brain that can't get ahead of that. We should go to the Masters as a show.
Oh my god.
I don't think I've uttered that in the throes of passion. Not that well. Oh my god. Oh my god. We should go to the Masters as a show.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Nothing has ever excited that man like that.
The people at the Masters, like, there is a nude man running around here, and he needs to be arrested.
Put a green jacket on that guy.
Ben in a green jacket with a pimento cheese sandwich in one hand and an Arnold Palmer in the other.
Oh my god.
That's truly mind-blowing.
It's amazing.
That's his reaction to, hey, we should go to the Masters as a show. Oh my god.
Still shudder when I think about it.
Wow.
Now, something that did happen on this date. This was just last year. You guys remember we had our pal Matt Strom on the show, and we were picking his brain about his new team, the Boston Red Sox.
This is so fun.
We're going to start, and the first clip could be potentially something that you may hear at Fenway Park in April. Here we go, Paulie.
All right.
Hey, Strom, welcome to Boston. Okay, there you
That's
go.
fine, yeah.
You're looking good. Hey, welcome to
Hey.
Boston. Good to have you.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad. So then let's say you hit a bit of a, and you know us, and we hope you go out and win the Cy Young. We love you.
Oh yeah.
We're not wishing
Hey,
anything
even
bad
Cy
on you.
Young winners have down days.
Oh yeah, I mean you can have a 0
baseball.
ERA until June, and you,
You
give
give
up
up a
one
home
bomb
run, yeah.
in July. They're going to turn
Oh,
on you
yeah.
quickly. So here's
Especially if it's a home run to the Yankees.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Then you're done.
so here's what it might sound like mid-season for you, Matt.
Hey, Strom, more pitching, less card collected. Big card collector. Okay, I know you're into the hobby. So they're going to use that. They're going to know it. They know it, and they're going to use it against you. All right, so brace yourself. All right. So now the season has slogged on, and maybe the Red Sox are 5 games out of the race, and you go out and you have a clunker, as you know it happens to everybody. This is like September, Red Sox fan. Ready?
All right. Yep.
Hey, Strom, you! All right, so strap in. Just be ready.
I remember he
loved
texted
it,
me
man.
right after that. He goes, "Can you send me that clip? That was the funniest."
Can we
thing."
recreate that now for Philly
I
though
can't
this
do the
time
Philly
around? You can't
accent.
do it.
You
Sorry
call
about
me when you get your phone. I can't do it. That's the only line I know. You'll call me when you get your phone.
Yo, call me when you get your phone.
Hey, Strom. They're going to say Strom.
Strom.
Yeah.
Strom.
Throw the ball over the plate.
Yo,
Strom.
call me when you get your phone.
My buddy Steve Weiland is from Philly, and you hear him. He sounds just like that. Every time you hear him, you're like, oh my God.
Yo, call me when you get your phone.
Hey, Steve-O, can you give me a call? I'll call you later, okay?
Yo, call me when you get your phone.
It's identical. Every time you hear him, it's just like
It's
that.
like there's a little bit of Boston in there.
It's so unique.
It is, yeah. It's a
Phone.
mix.
Sorry. I'm sorry for
Sorry.
the water.
Water.
Yeah, Matt Strom.
Water.
Strom. No, it's not Strom. Strom.
Strom.
I can't do it. They say weird stuff up there. They do. Then they admit it. But I love
John's.
Yeah, John's. Things are John's. We learned that in the playoffs from our beloved Devin Caney. It's not going to be any easier for him this year. You go from Boston to Philly, it's going to be, some may say even more difficult.
Hit New York, you'll just hit the big
That's
three.
what I told him when we saw him. I said, "What's next? You gonna go be a Yankee next?" He's like, "Whoever pays me, dude,
Yeah.
I'll take it."
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
We got our Ben and Woods Open coming up on Thursday, April 6th at Rancho Bernardo Inn. You can sign up next Wednesday, the 22nd. Be looking for the link. We'll keep reminding you and let you know how you can do that. But thank you to our sponsors, Coastal Fire and Integration Systems, Cobra Golf. We were just talking earlier about the Virgin Beer. They've signed up Going to provide some of their great brews, including the Tier 1 Pale Ale, for all of our competitors in the tournament.
So, Paulie, the landing page is up and active. Yes, you can
Yes,
go
sir.
to the landing page, not where you sign up yet, right? But you can go for more information, 973thefansd.com/golf. There's all the info that we have for you right now. In fact, including you're going to be able to book a room if you want to stay the night before at RBI for the Ben and Woods Open. They're going to give you a special rate subject to availability. So call now, and we've got a code for you on there.
Isn't everything subject to availability in life?
Pretty much. But yeah, if you want to book a room, they're going to waive the parking and the resort fees, and you can come. I'm going to be there the night before. Probably going to be throwing a few back. Paulie's going to be there. Ben is going to be at work.
The night before.
The night before.
But I'm staying with you Thursday all the way through.
Right. You'd be with us Thursday all the way through.
Yeah.
But if I'm hungover on the day of the tournament, don't be surprised.
No, I'm looking forward to that part.
Okay. I may do the show from my room.
You know who might
Since
be
I'm staying
hungover
there.
this morning?
Who?
Mark Grant. Did you see what he did last
I did.
night?
I saw that.
I'm jealous.
I know
I'm
you are.
very
It's
jealous.
never going to happen. You gotta. You
We
can't-
said
it doesn't
that,
even make me jealous anymore.
but now that we found out that Don Orsillo loves Ben and Woods,
Yeah, he does.
maybe we'll get the next invitation, because after working together, what have they worked together for now? Like 6 years?
6 or 7 years.
That Don finally invited Mudd over for dinner.
I love Ben and Woods.
Thank you, Don.
So I feel like we have to be next. So there's a video of Mudd walking up to Don's door over there in Coronado, Don Natangelo, or wherever he lives.
Was that not at the Arizona rental?
Oh, that's right. They're in Peoria
Arizona,
right
yeah.
there. So
That's the Arizona rental.
Well, whatever. Don was ready. He had his apron on. He had a bow tie. He was ready to seat Mudd at the table. It was very sweet and very nice that Don finally cooked for Mudd last night. I didn't see the menu though.
I saw a picture of.
Was there some food? I did not catch any menu, and I was
like some
curious as to know what would you serve your colleague after so many years together. Like, what would you make for Mudd? Special dish. Yeah.
Well, I don't.
What would you make for Ben?
What would you make for me?
Something he wouldn't eat, probably.
Why would you do that?
Because I'm not a great cook.
I would want you to make something you're really good at.
I would griddle you something.
Yeah, please.
Do you guys know I have a griddle?
I know.
Yeah.
I would like the teriyaki chicken Woods griddle special. with vegetables.
Woodsy Hana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I can
toss
make you
it,
some
toss
Woodsy
it
Hana
in my
at
mouth.
house.
I would
Yeah.
definitely do that at the Woods.
Ding,
The Woods. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I can do that for you.
Thank you.
Haven't used the griddle in a while. It's been raining.
Well,
So
that's true.
yeah. I miss it though. It was a good purchase. I've used it quite a bit. Got my money's worth out of the griddle.
Saw Scotty Scheffler. They announced his Masters meal that he's going to serve at the Champions Dinner on Tuesday of Masters Week.
So as the defending champion sets the menu every year.
Yeah.
For the next
for
year?
the next year's Champions Dinner, and he won last year. So
This is so
It's-
perfect for me. It's so perfect for me.
Yeah, and
Read it.
it was kind of like Applebee's Plus for the. Well, I mean, starting with
my.
cheeseburger sliders,
Delicious.
firecracker shrimp,
Delicious.
with sweet Thai chili sauce,
Delicious.
tortilla soup.
Delicious.
I mean, all these things you can get on the menu at like Applebee's, right? Then you go Texas ribeye steak or black and redfish, so
Delicious.
steak or fish, and then a warm chocolate chip skillet cookie.
Delicious.
For dessert.
Who says no to that?
I'm not saying it's
Goat
bad.
cheese pancetta.
I'm just
flavor,
I'm just saying you have the entire like chef army at Augusta National at your disposal.
Come up with one better.
And you're coming up. I mean, tortilla soup is
What's wrong with tortilla
just
soup?
nothing-
delicious.
There's nothing wrong with any of it. It's just all very pedestrian.
It's not like you did chicken nuggets.
Mac and cheese.
Side dishes,
Grilled
family
cheese.
style mac and cheese,
Delicious.
jalapeno cream corn,
Delicious.
fried Brussels sprouts, and seasoned fries.
I'm eating all of it except the Brussels sprouts. Every last morsel.
I mean, famously when Tiger Woods won as a 21-year-old, cheeseburgers, fries, and milkshakes.
Genius.
Was his Masters
Do yours
Champions
next,
dinner.
would you?
My Masters Champions
Yep.
dinner.
Come up with one right
All
now.
right. I will think about that
All
over the break. We'll come back. Rhino Report is well ahead on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, that did not take long. Well, we have a 2.5 minute break there. I have come up with my master's menu for you, Woods. It's simple but elegant.
Okay, well, I mean, I thought Scotty Scheffler's was also simple but elegant.
Mine is actually very simple. It's just a little more elevated. So for my Masters Champions dinner, and I still have, I hold out hope that my golf game will shape up enough here in the next couple of years that I'll qualify and win the Masters. We're going to start with a burrata and heirloom tomato salad with a balsamic vinaigrette. One of my favorites. I love burrata.
Burrata.
Beautiful mozzarella cheese with the fresh cream. Delicious.
Save that.
Then then kind of an amuse-bouche of a seared scallops and a beurre blanc.
I thought it was a amuse-bouche.
Amuse-bouche.
You're so fancy you don't even know how to say it.
And then for the main course, we're going to do a duo of miso black cod and a Wagyu New York strip with whipped potatoes on the side. I will also do fried Brussels sprouts, though. I will, in honor of Scotty Scheffler, since he is a Masters champion and will be eating with me. I like fried Brussels sprouts. A little pancetta in there. Very nice. And then you want to go seasonal. You're in Georgia. I mean, how could you not have peach cobbler?
Peaches.
Fresh
Something with peaches.
Peach cobbler for dessert from Augusta National Golf Club. And that would be my Masters Champions dinner menu for you.
Doesn't blow my hair back.
What? It's a beautiful menu. Well thought out. It's a good combination. You've got some fish. You've got a little steak. Good side dishes. It's not overly fancy. I wasn't loaded with caviar and, foie gras or anything. It's very simple, elegant.
I like Scotty Scheffler's better. I do.
Cheeseburger sliders and tortilla soup over what I picked.
Amuse-bouche. Yeah, pass. I want a meal, like a meal.
Mine would be very filling. I promise you.
So.
It would be delicious.
I am down for the cobbler.
You'd be stuffed. We can all agree on peach cobbler for dessert. I actually wouldn't have a problem with the warm chocolate chip skillet cookie.
How did I gain all the weight? I won the Masters. That's how I gained
why don't we just do both? Well, there's no reason you can't have two desserts. You won the Masters.
So good.
Have two desserts, not just one.
Yeah, well, listen, you put that out of your mind right now. You're never winning the Masters.
It ain't happening.
You're maybe never setting foot at Augusta.
I just need about 10 to 15 strokes off my game. It doesn't sound like that much.
It's so much.
I could be, shooting 4 or 5 under par consistently.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Now
just like that.
Ready to win the Masters.
I don't know that I'll ever break 100 again.
It's not even a stroke a hole. Just one less stroke a hole. I'd be the best golfer of all time.
That's true.
I could just shave one stroke off every hole.
Pretty amazing.
I'd be better than Tiger Woods.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
That's how fine a line golf is.
It's so nuts. Now your meal was fine. Mine would have probably been very similar to Scotty's, though.
Actually, I suggested to Shelly, I sent her the menu. I said, could you recreate this? And she said, I love that idea.
That's amazing.
So if you want to come over for Scotty's dinner, we may be making that at some point.
Yeah, I would love to come over for Scotty's dinner.
I'm not going to not eat cheeseburger sliders and
all of that stuff is
steak
you're going to eat.
Skillet cookie. I'm just saying I could have come up with something a little nicer. All right, so shall we get to a Rindle report?
Yes, let's do it.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Rindle Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Rindle Report with Paul Rindle.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Rindle Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right, moved on, yeah?
I think it's going today. It's going
today.
right now.
Okay. All right, good.
If I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's going up against OK, how are you?
Perfect.
All right. It's the Rhino Report brought to you by the San Diego Sockers. The Lords of Indoor are on the march to the Ron Newman Cup playoffs. Get your tickets today at sdsockers.com. We will start off in the NBA. We've been talking a lot about Ja Morant for the last couple of weeks. And he did an interview yesterday with ESPN and sat down with Jalen Rose.
Nice.
And he was asked about it. He was suspended from the NBA for 8 games, which isn't really a surprise. He's been away. We talked about him the other day. He's away from the team right now. He's putting in some work on himself. here is what he said with Jalen Rose yesterday.
You at the spot, Shotgun Willie's. I've been there. You are holding a gun. And we both know how dangerous that can be. Whose gun were you holding?
Well, the gun wasn't mine. It's not who I am. I don't condone any type of violence, but I take full responsibility for my actions. Made a bad mistake, and I can see the image that I painted over myself with my recent mistakes. But in the future, I'm gonna show everybody who John really is, what I'm about, and change this narrative.
So that was just a clip they played the full interview late last night on SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt, but basically he just said, look, I now realize what I have to lose, and I'm not going to let that happen.
I thought that's a big thing. I mean, isn't that what whether it's your own kids or whatever, hey, everyone has things in their life that they want, that they're trying to achieve. Don't do stupid stuff that could take it away from you. And Ja's already achieved so much. He's one of the best players in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do something dumb. I mean, waving a gun around in a nightclub? It could something so bad could have happened. You could have already lost your NBA career. If something had happened right there, you might be done forever. Did you think about that? Did you think about how close you were to something horrible happening that would have taken everything away that you've worked for?
Plaxico. Remember, shot himself in the leg, strip clubs, gun in his sweatpants, shot himself in the leg. Did he ever play again? I think he did come back. Wasn't obviously the same. Not something you want to be, noted for in the headlines. But I really like Ja. I do. And as somebody that doesn't watch a ton of NBA, I do like Ja Morant and hope he can get it together. And it sounds like at least first step, he's on the right track. Everybody screws up, man. Everybody, and it's how you battle back from it.
He's lucky that he screwed up in this way.
And he's lucky he's got a shot, to do it again.
Yep.
That's a bad pun. I didn't mean to do that. I swear I didn't.
Okay, we'll move on that note. We talked about it the other day.
Take aim.
Stop.
Stop, Ben.
Better
Jesus,
path.
Good God. We were talking the other day how in this day and age, everybody has a documentary series coming out on them, right? Every athlete, it seems like, if you've won a championship, you're going to have a documentary series on it at some point. And I got the latest one here. Amazon is getting ready to launch a four-part docuseries on J.R. Smith, NBA champion. And
College
it's going to be documenting his pursuit of a college education and his golf career at North Carolina A&T. So it starts on April 4th is when it premieres. It's produced by LeBron James and Maverick Carter and their production company. It's called Redefined. J.R. Smith, his life is on a new course. And they're a golf glove putting in a tee into the grass, except it's a miniature basketball instead of a golf ball. And I remember when this story came up last year, him joining the team and like doing his homework with his teammates and everything. I loved it. I am looking forward to watching this.
I do too. And I don't know. Have you seen an update on how he's doing? I mean, college golf season is back underway. I haven't heard a lot of stories.
I know he crushed it with his grades and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I know he
got a 4.0,
didn't he?
4.0
and was on the golf team and was like, I think he came out and was like, hey man, this S is a lot harder than I gave it credit for, dude. Like this is some hard S.
If you could go back and wanted to really succeed at college, when you're in college, you want to have fun and
C's get degrees.
Well,
C's get degrees.
But do you think like you'd enjoy it more? Like I dreaded the papers and everything.
You couldn't have enjoyed college more than I did. It wasn't possible.
No. I mean, the work part of it though. Do you think you would actually like enjoy it now that
I always enjoyed the work?
You did like,
because I.
Do you mean like going back as a 20-year-old, knowing what you know now, or like if you never went to college and then in your 40s
I just mean going now, with the perspective of life. And I think you'd enjoy the educational aspect of it more than you used to.
But the thing is,
like education is wasted on the young.
With me, I think money is wasted on the young, or wasted on the old. For me, I remember talking to my dad and saying, I want to be an English major, and him saying, why? And I said, because I like books, I like words, I like that stuff. And he said, what are you going to do with it? And I said, I don't, professor, English teacher, I have no idea. English teacher and coach, I have no idea. And he's like, all right, but like you should do something practical for the money, you know, that we're spending. You should do something practical that can translate. I couldn't have been a business major. I had no interest. So you would find my grades. Oh, women in medieval literature, B+. You know, some elective, D. So the things that I wanted to excel at, I did. And that's what I thought the cool part about college was why do I even have to go to classes I don't want to go to? Paying you this money, I want to read, I want to study this, and I'm into it. And so I got good grades in the classes that I was interested in, which is, I don't know that there's anything wrong with it, you know, and I really skated through the other ones and would go get the syllabus and be like, see you in 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, like the required classes and the curriculum.
I don't want to do math. I don't want to, you know, I don't need this stuff. It's not for me. I'm not good at it. I'm good at this. I'm good at reading and writing, and I want to do that. So
I can see why college doesn't want to necessarily give out degrees to people who are incompetent at things. You know, it's not a great ad. Oh, you went to you went to Loyola.
Yeah.
And you can't multiply 8 times 8. Really?
Well, you don't get into college without doing that.
True,
but I don't need calculus. I've never used trigonometry. Yet people are just going to write me and be like, in fact, you use trigonometry every day when you blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. I don't practically use it. I don't ever sit down and start crunching numbers. But I do use my degree every single day. So it's about doing what you want and doing what you love. So I wouldn't have changed a thing, really. I mean, I would have partied a lot less, but still some. Still a lot.
Still some,
Yeah,
still a lot.
Still
fairly
a lot.
good amount.
Dicey moments. But yeah.
All right. And finally, it's March 16th, which I'd have to go back and look. But if we go back 3 years ago today, that was probably right around everybody getting shut down. You guys going to the Corona cave, right? I've seen a lot over the last week. Like, hey, 3 years ago, Rudy Gobert touched all the microphones.
Yeah.
Hey, 3 years ago, Tom Hanks had coronavirus.
Yeah.
And it's kind of been weird to like go back and just remember like where you were on that moment. You guys remember Joe Exotic, our buddy?
Joe Exotic, the Tiger King.
It's an auto power down for me.
Yeah,
Like this,
but like that really, the release of that series. I mean, we covered.
What was the woman's name who was
Cheryl?
The Cat and Kittens.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: we were dying at the time for content.
We treated Joe Exotic like he was Tiger Woods
for one show. I watched one episode and I go, I can't do this. I can't commit to going over this. And we just, like we do, we got excited about something and then we were like, no,
you couldn't, but the rest of the world it was new content. It was something new to take
at just the right moment in history for everyone needing to lap something up. And it just happened to land right there at that moment.
This is the perfect timing.
If it came out now, no one would.
I agree.
No one would be interested.
Well, Joe Exotic, the Tiger King, running for president. As he's
what?
also of the United States of America, my
Okay.
friend. Now, Joe Exotic is currently serving a 21-year federal prison
Does that make you
sentence.
ineligible to run for president? I know they have some requirements.
Do they?
Yeah.
Says here he was convicted on multiple charges. He said that's not going to stop him from running for the nation's top office. He said on his campaign's website in a personal message, quote, "Thank you for your interest in my campaign. Yes, I know I am in federal prison and you might think this is a joke, but it's not. It's my constitutional right to do this even from here."
What's his platform? Does he have some policy positions that we can dive into here?
Do.
I don't even know. I don't know what party he's with. It doesn't say. He says, please put aside that I'm gay, that I am gay, that I'm in prison for now, that I used drugs in the past, that I had more than one boyfriend at once, and that Carol hates my guts.
Carol, that's Carol Baskin.
This all has not a thing to do with me being able to be your voice. The best thing you have going for supporting me is that I am used to fighting my whole life just to get by. I am broke. They have taken everything I ever worked for away. It's time we take this country back.
I'm sold.
Count me in.
That's what the pitch. That is a great pitch.
Is it?
To lead the nation. Or not.
I hate it. I hate the Tiger King.
I thought you were just going to give us the Padres lineup. report. Really?
Could do that too.
Thought that's what we were going to get.
News you can use.
Yeah. Why don't we hold on to that? We can. We've got one for today.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's looking a little more Padres-like than it did the last week and a half. They actually have an A game and a B game today because of the rain out yesterday. So I think we've got the A game lineup for you against the Colorado Rockies, and we've got the tip-off now of some NCAA tournament action as well. So it is time. Fun sports day. We'll get into the Padres lineup next after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. All right, lineup time. Your San Diego Padres visiting the Colorado Rockies today in spring training action in Peoria, and they're starting to get some of the regulars back now that the World Baseball Classic eliminations have taken place. Paul, you got the lineup for us?
I do. San Diego versus Colorado at 1:10 today. Leading off in center field, Trent Grisham. Playing right field, batting second, Fernando Tatis Jr. Batting third, playing first, Jake Cronenworth. Xander Bogaerts at short, Hassan Kim at second, Austin Nola behind the dish, David Dahl in left field, Matthew Batten at third. Ravello is DHing, and Michael Wacha. Rangel Ravello is the DH, and Michael Wacha is your starting pitcher.
All right, so 1 through 6 is pretty much kind of your opening day guys in the lineup for the Padres today.
Maybe 1 through 7.
Maybe 1 through 7.
Who is the I saw a lot of people, including Sammy, talking to Lopes, right? What's his name?
Tim Lopes.
His numbers that he's put up right now are staggering. I mean, they're really, really good. 450 average. He's like swiping bags and hit a couple bombs or whatever. Can he do anything to make this team? Or is it one of those where it's like, nice work? I mean, he's like 31 years old.
Yeah, no, he can. I
Obviously,
think there's a potentially a spot for him.
That lineup on opening day, at least, would not have Tatis in right, and David Dahl in left. You would have Juan Soto in left.
Yes,
and then we're not sure who's going to be playing right.
Could be Dahl.
Yeah, but there's like 2 spots right now potentially for backups. Maybe an outfielder and an infielder. Bob Melvin said yesterday. Not necessarily one outfielder, one infielder. It could be, depending on how things work out, it could be 2 outfield guys. I mean, Azokar, Dahl, Odor, Lopes, you want to throw in Dixon, Engel. I mean, I got like 6 guys battling for probably 2 spots. Is Tim Lopes a long shot? Yeah, absolutely. Is it impossible though? That they feel like they need a backup infielder and they decide Odor is not the guy, then maybe Lopes could make the team.
It's hard because you go out and you're like, hey man, I've done everything asked of me, but then again, maybe you get a chance to jump on with another team. But you love to see a guy have a monster spring training.
This
like
happens
that.
Every year. We're not used to it yet.
Yeah.
But the top echelon of Major League Baseball teams, the absolute top World Series contenders every year, they don't have 9 spots open.
There's
up for grabs. They got like 2, maybe.
Couple in the bullpen, couple in the lineup, and on the bench. And it's tough too because like Sugar's been great, man. He's been phenomenal. And if he's out there in the outfield, you don't expect a ton from his bat, even though he has been showing a little bit more pop and but he's fast.
Well, to me, I feel like he's my leading candidate to be there. I mean, he was already an important, not an everyday, but important part of the team last year.
Yeah.
Played a lot. And it looks like he's only gotten better since last season.
It really does. You'd hate to take it away from a guy like that.
You want to reward him for what he's done.
Well, the other thing too about the business of baseball is oftentimes they're gonna option the guy that has options. If you have options, that obviously can work against you. And they're like, hey man, you've got 3 options left. We're going to use one now. Don't worry. You had a great spring. We still love you. Go down there and tear it up in AAA and we'll see you back up here when we need you. So there's a business aspect to it too. And it depends on what kind of deal you have, what you signed. I don't know if you, I don't know that you can option David Dahl. I'm not sure of the logistics of his contract and Odor's and some of the other guys. So that's a factor. That's what it's going to boil down to too, is like Sugar. I think they said, if I'm not mistaken, and I very well could be and often am, I want to say that he's got a few left where they're like, damn.
The better player could have more options.
Yes.
And the lesser player, you're like, he's not so far less that we want to just let him go. Gotta give him a spot.
We got to give him a spot. Buddy, you had a great spring. It's such a hard combo to have.
And I think I mentioned it last week too. A guy who's hot in spring training may be hot because he's in a rhythm. He's playing every single day. Even if Tim Lopes makes the team,
he may not see the field for 2 weeks.
Playing. Yeah, he's going to be on the bench. Is he really going to be able to step right in after sitting the pine for 9 days and then come up with a spot start and go 3 for 4? That's asking a lot of anyone, a veteran who's been there before, much less a guy who's just trying to fight to make the big league. So you keep that in mind. A lot of the time, guys have hot spring training. They come right out and they're ice cold. Once the regular season starts, you're facing number 1, number 2 pitchers, 2-3 times a game, as opposed to, minor leaguers who are coming in at the end of games when Tim Lopes is playing. But there's always that worry that you do give up on a guy a little too fast. It rarely happens, but it happened to the Padres last year. Trace Thompson was a member of the San Diego Padres.
He was bad here, though.
And he was bad, and the Padres justifiably gave up on him. He has not only, he is like a savior for the Dodgers right now.
Yes, it's wild.
They need him badly. They're anticipating not only starting him, but they're kind of counting on him for a really good offensive season. They got him for nothing.
Zero.
That the Padres gave him up, an outfielder that is now a key member of their biggest rival in their division. And I don't know what they could have done differently. Was there a sign there that Trace Thompson was about to become a competent everyday major league player? Not really.
I didn't see it. But again, you just never know. The organization looks at something and says, "Oh, it's a simple fix. Lift your hands a little bit more, Trace, and you'll be ready for the fastball." You have no idea, and maybe you're more comfortable. Maybe maybe you want to be there. Maybe you didn't want to be here.
And sometimes maybe good coaching and
Yeah.
you've got a different organization makes a difference. But a lot of the times in baseball, you'll never figure out what it was.
Absolutely.
What clicked, why it was, what happened to Trace Thompson. He might not even know himself.
Yeah.
What it is. What's the difference? I don't know. I felt good in San Diego. I felt good in Los Angeles. It's just working
Baseball.
now. It's just baseball. I'm just hitting now.
Yeah.
And you may never have an explanation for it.
It's very similar to, when you're playing golf. Sometimes you can practice like a madman and you go out and shoot 103. Sometimes you don't practice at all. You got to shoot 85. It's stupid.
Does it worry me that the Padres are going to waive Julio Teheran and he's going to
go be
win a
Cy Young?
somewhere? Not win a Cy Young, but have a 3.8 ERA and a really solid season. You go, God, that guy, we had him in spring. We didn't give him a chance. But if you give all those guys chances, you kind of get a mediocre roster then.
It's not how it used to be here, man. Paulie makes a really good point where you want fewer spots available. You want to be so locked in on 24
And you got
guys.
a championship roster,
Yeah,
and you are
means
looking for just the last
couple
guy
pieces.
or two.
You got 24 out of 26 that you're like, no, these guys aren't going. That board that we've seen at spring training and fantasy camp in the manager's office looks a lot different this year than it did last year or the year before that, especially.
We could debate all day long, like, could they upgrade at catcher? Could they upgrade at the DH spot? Sure, but those are the guys that they're rolling out with.
They're
right
rolling,
now.
man, and you're all
And they're
almost
locked in.
100%.
And Nola's looked really good this spring. It's like, you keep wanting to upgrade. Maybe Nola is going to have a great season. And if you had changed out, you would have never seen that opportunity from him.
Yeah. It's just going to be really, it's not just merit, man. It's really not merit. We had Sammy spring training on. We can ask him again, but he talked about he thinks Adam Engel is going to make this roster. I'm like, I don't even think I've seen the guy's face. I don't even know what he looks like. So
point him out in the lineup.
I could not pick him out of a lineup. I really couldn't.
Speaking of baseball is a lot of things, but it isn't boring. You can join Rob Bradford on his podcast, Baseball Isn't Boring. Every day, Rob takes you through the league spotlights, what makes the game fun, talking with players, managers, GMs, reporters, all shining a light on America's pastime. Follow Baseball Isn't Boring in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. So the tournament is underway. West Virginia out to a 13-4 lead over Maryland. I think I do have the Mountaineers in my bracket.
I have no idea.
I think there's been like 6 straight years that I've lost the very first game. Like my perfect bracket is done quickly, so maybe I'll actually win one this year, but it is very early. Earlier today, we talked to Steve Fisher, the legendary coach, on the Aztecs' chances in the tournament, some stories from his amazing run with Michigan in 1989. It is always a pleasure to talk to Coach Fisher. We're going to bring that back for you when we return. What?
It's Sammy spring training.
Oh, I thought we were going to bring back Steve Fisher. I forgot about that. My bad.
We
might be able to do both.
He is
we are
on
locked and
vacation
loaded.
mode.
Somebody is. What hole are you on right now at Pinehurst
I'm
number
not.
4?
We totally talked about bringing back Steve Fisher.
No,
didn't
we didn't.
We never did?
No.
All right. Never mind. We're going to go out to Sammy Spring Training next.
Highly rated morning.
I thought he was going to say,
Good tease.
and because that game's tipping off later today. But anyways, coming up next.
It was a good tease, but we got Sammy Spring Training next.
What'd you hit there?
On Ben Woods. On 97.3
From
The Fan.
160 out. What'd you hit? 8 iron?
I'm doing it.
Don't do it.
You
Gotta
doing?
do
No,
it.
what are you
All
doing?
right, fine. I'll wait.
Jeez, we have one rule on this show. 2 rules. Don't reference Hitler and don't
Step on
Black Betty. Jeez. Why don't you just go ahead and go on vacation now? Just go ahead and go. It's fine. I got this. Paulina got it.
I can't because who would give away the Darius Rucker
I
tickets from
can.
space?
Anyone.
Call right now for a pair of tickets to Darius Rucker.
No,
No, we can't do
we
that
can't.
either.
We can't.
Never mind. Because our phone line is tied up with Sam Levitt.
Oh God.
Can we go to traffic at least? Can I throw to traffic? Can I do anything right around here?
I don't know.
By the way, today is National Everything You Do Is Wrong Day.
I am celebrating by doing everything wrong.
Celebrating. You are the creator.
I am doing everything wrong right now.
I don't even know. I don't.
I'm going to read the wrong liner right now. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by
We need to be
Poundtown.
doing it better than the next guy.
It's actually brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Is it 5 Hour Energy? I got plenty of energy.
We
right
are
now.
in negotiations right now. This is the kind of show we run out there.
So we got
Remember
3 more
college?
shows to do.
Woods does. He was an English major. 5 Hour Energy got you through the energized feeling you relied on back then.
What is Rye Live?
It still works today. I'm doing everything wrong for you, Woods. Rediscover 5 Hour Energy. It'll get you through. Again, visit 5hourenergy.com. We didn't have Sammy on yesterday, so I forgot about him. He will join us right after traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Legendary.
From the premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the all-new Premier Cadillac of Carlsbad. Got a couple style vehicles to let you know about. One of them is on the southbound side of the 15 near the 8. It's over to the right shoulder. Then up ahead on the Adams Avenue off-ramp, we have reports of a stalled big rig partially in lanes. Collision on southbound side of the 125 just past Lemon Avenue. Looks like a dump truck and a car involved. They're over to the right shoulder. Brought to you by Premier Cadillac of Carlsbad with brand new 2023 Cadillac XT4s and XT5s in stock now. Stop in or shop online at CadillacCarlsbad.com, a proud member of the Premier Carlsbad family of dealers. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, he's rested, he's refreshed, and he's back with us. Sammy Spring Training joins us on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. How was your day off, Sammy?
Day off was good. Got blessed with then another night off yesterday, so that was good. So I'm feeling refreshed, rested, ready to go for the final push here in Peoria.
The final push. We are now exactly, Sammy, 2 weeks away from opening day for the San Diego
We'll be at
Padres.
Happy Does right now.
At Happy Does. Yeah, we'll be at Happy Does 2 weeks from today, getting ready for the opening day. But we were talking about those last 2 roster spots. Are you familiar with who's got options and who doesn't have options? Because we know a lot of times baseball kind of operates that way, and I think it makes sense. A guy could earn his way onto the team with his play, but if he's got options, well, he can be optioned even after a great spring. Sammy, do you know where all the guys kind of sit on that?
I got to be honest, I really don't.
That makes 4 of us.
It's kind of complicated. I was actually having this conversation with somebody in the clubhouse like a handful of days ago, because I was wondering when if you notice when the Padres sent a bunch of guys to minor league camp, there were 2 separate phrases. There was optioned to minor league camp, or however they put it, and then reassigned, right? And it seemed like that was intentional, those 2 ways of putting it. But then I kind of then I kind of found out that doesn't actually mean an option, or there's not like a set number of options just when you go technically up and down. So I'm going to be honest, I don't totally know how many options everybody has left, who necessarily. It's easier to know who's out of options, and that's the real thing you're looking for. Is who is out. Yep. Is who is out of options. Obviously, you have the differentiator of the major league and minor league deal, which is part of the reason we've said now for a while that Adam Engel is in a different conversation than some of the other guys that we're discussing. But the short answer is I do not totally know where everything stands with all that.
Well, this is pretty interesting. This just jumped into my timeline. I'm
Yeah.
assuming it was a Dennis Lin tweet. And he's talking about Bob
Mhm.
Melvin and Yu Darvish. Was that at the scrum today?
Yeah.
So
It was at the scrum. Yeah, read me what he said, 'cause I
okay.
didn't see it.
So he says Bob Melvin acknowledged today that the Padres are concerned about Yu Darvish's innings buildup and upcoming schedule. Darvish threw 2 innings of relief last night in the WBC.
Really, this morning. It was like 3 hours
this morning.
ago.
He's worked just 5 innings in the tournament. And the quote from Bob Melvin is, "It wasn't ideal." Now, this is odd. You have a manager saying, "I wish my starting pitcher and probable opening day starter I wish he would have thrown more innings in the WBC." Am I correct in gleaning that information?
Yeah, and I'm going to put out the video of what Bob Melvin said right when I get off with you guys, and it was that Dennis was tweeting what he said in the scrum, and it was going to be the top of my list today as far as what Bob Melvin talked about. Look, I think there was a sense today of, and to me, like the first time we've really heard it, of a sense of where there's a little concern about him being in a really good spot to start the year, let alone opening day. And I don't think it was ideal for the Padres. And again, I don't know, if there's prior communication that they know he's going to come out of the bullpen or how that all works. But I don't think it was necessarily ideal for the Padres that he came out of the bullpen, pitched 2 innings, and he was basically asked today, Bob Melvin, is there a concern on just getting his innings up, right, if he were to be your opening day starter? And Bob Melvin said, yeah, and said it wasn't ideal. It also sounds like the Padres ideally would like to get him into a Cactus League game. And also, guys, you have to start looking at the bigger picture of this pitching staff on opening day, because you have now Darvish, who is at the very least getting ready for a regular season in a totally different way. And look, Bob Melvin also acknowledged this is part of it when you have guys playing in the World Baseball Classic, and as a sport where, you're having your star players go play. This is part of the deal, is having to figure out, what things look like when they get back. But you think about Darvish, having a very different ramp up now. You think about Martinez also being away from the team. Joe Musgrove, obviously, his ramp up has been derailed by the fractured toe. And then you start thinking about the decisions that you'll have to make on that opening day first week or two pitching staff, because you're going to potentially need a lot of relievers and guys that can give you length. So I thought today, and I'll put the video out, but I thought today was, I don't know if concern is the right word, but, it was about as in-depth as we've got about how this, how Darvish coming out of the bullpen, for example, and throwing 2 innings, how that could really affect some things, heading into the first week or two of the season.
Well, I can see this going 2 ways. If Japan loses in the semifinals, Darvish doesn't pitch, then he can probably get back, throw 1 Cactus League game, maybe get 4 innings in, and hopefully be ready to throw maybe 5 or 6 on opening day. But if they get to the final, read the tea leaves. It'll be Shohei Ohtani starting and probably Darvish coming in for another 2 innings of relief. And then he won't have time to start a game in the Cactus League. He won't be able to throw more than 3 or 4 innings, and you'll have a limited starter to start the season. It is definitely less than ideal. What Bob Melvin said is absolutely true. And Sammy, I don't know if you were there yesterday, but there was a gleam in Bob Melvin's eye when he was asked about Xander Bogaerts and Ha-Seong Kim losing and coming back. I mean, he didn't want him to lose, but he was legitimately happy that they were returning to camp and not going to be gone for another week playing games in Miami.
Right. And look, I don't think you're ever going to hear Bob Melvin come out and say that he's happy that his guys' teams lost. But look, there is obviously a benefit to getting your middle infield duo back and working together, instead of getting them back with just a few days left in spring training, which could be the case if those teams were to make it to the final. So again, today was really interesting with the Darvish situation, because, I think it was pretty clear that from the Padres perspective, that's not ideal. But look, Bogaerts is here. He was disappointed. Kim spoke earlier. He was disappointed, but I'll tell you what, both guys seem ready to go. They're both in the lineup today. There's a lot going on here today because there's the game going on at Talking Stick against the Rockies. Because of the day off and the rain out yesterday, they're also going to play a B game here in Peoria at 11 a.m. And that's pretty significant because there are going to be certain pitchers that get in there. Luis Campusano's catching and playing in that B game. So quite a lot going on. And basically everybody that needs to get in is getting into one of these games. But yeah, with Bogaerts and Kim, they're back here and seemingly ready to go and ready to turn the page and focus on the season.
Talking to Sammy Spring Training here on Ben and Woods. It's just weird for me, though, Sammy, because all we ever hear about Yu Darvish is he's got the ultimate, card where, hey, we don't worry about you. His preparation is solid. We know where he's going to be. We know he's putting the work in. He can train in Japan. He doesn't need to be here, doesn't need to throw Cactus League games. And now, so it's just because of the use or lack thereof. Now there's concern for an opening day starter. I'm not able to make that jive yet. Like I think for me, the job of a baseball manager would be massively stressful, massively. Your whole life, I wouldn't sleep. I would just be worrying about stuff all the time. But if you're going to give him the rope and say, "Oh no, it's you's fine. He prepares better than anybody." I don't know that only throwing 5 innings. Couldn't we look at that as a good thing? Because it's not like this guy, hey, I got to fix my mechanics and I got to get my cutter sharp. Like, Yu Darvish is Yu Darvish. Are we worrying too much about nothing?
I don't know. There's probably a mix of both thoughts in that answer for me. I guess the question in my head, and I don't know the answer to this, and by the way, there are like birds chirping right over my head, so I don't know if you hear that or not. I'm going to walk over to this different spot. But I guess my question, and I don't know the answer, is, did the Padres not know that was a possibility that Darvish was going to come out of the bullpen in that kind of scenario? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm with you. Look, they've said it for a long time, and we've said it, that if there's one guy you're not going to worry about, being ready when March 30th comes around, it's Yu Darvish. And I still feel that way. And I think the Padres still feel that way. But I do think as we get closer here and they're looking at his innings and how he's being used now, there's probably a bit more of concern of him being where he would normally be at the start of the year. So, yeah, you may have a situation, Woodsy, where hey, Darvish is ready to go. He's your opening day starter, but instead of being able to go, 6 innings, the limit may be going 4 innings or 5 innings or whatever the pitch count might be. So, and look, between that and the Musgrove situation and having Martinez not here, I understand it that as we get closer, it's, maybe getting a little bit more nerve wracking as to how this could really affect the pitching staff over the course of the first week or two of the year.
And just to be clear, I don't think Yu Darvish has done anything wrong at all.
No.
I think the Padres assumed Japan would be using him as a starter, and he'd get a start and he'd throw maybe 4, and then he'd get another one and he'd throw 5, and all of a sudden he's coming in relief for 2 innings and go, yeah, we thought you'd go and be used a totally different way. I think that's
the panic of the manager. It's like, I've got Yu Darvish down there. I'm going to use it.
It's a little bit of a surprise. Right. Sammy, good stuff with Tim Lope. We were just talking about Tim Lopes. Does he have a chance to make this team? You talked about that with him yesterday in the Padres clubhouse.
Yeah, look, I think he does. I probably still put him on the long shot category, I suppose. What was interesting yesterday from what Bob Melvin said was he was asked about the 2 potential bench spots, at the start of the year. And, he was asked, does one need to be an infielder, one need to be an outfielder? And he essentially said, no, they could both be outfielders. So, that's something to think about when we have these conversations. Look, I think for Tim Lopes, guys, he has to keep on doing what he's doing. Like, if he keeps on hitting 400 something and playing good defense and stealing bases, like, it's going to get harder and harder to ignore. Now, if the Padres want somebody who can play infield, is he going to get that spot over somebody like a Rougned Odor, like a Brandon Dixon? I don't know. But, he's certainly put himself in the conversation. And, you guys know as well as I do, if he starts the year at AAA, that very well does not mean that we will not see Tim Lopes at some point this year if they need him. So, no, credit to him. I mean, like, spent all of last year at AAA. I think he really took that to heart, and sounds like he came into spring training with a really aggressive mindset and different approach at the plate, and whatever he's doing has been working. So I think he's in the mix. It's still probably a long shot, I suppose, but credit to him. He's played his tail off, and he's inserted himself into the conversation for sure.
Did you fill out a bracket, Sammy? Who do you have winning the NCAA tournament?
Guys, it's funny. I did not, and I'm normally so much more locked in on college basketball because I do a lot of college basketball. But I didn't really do any play-by-play in college basketball this winter, just for a variety of reasons. So I'm really not as locked in as I normally am to the college basketball scene. You know what? San Diego State's a good team. I've watched them a lot. I watch them as much as any team. They're a veteran group. They've got a lot of depth. They've got guys who can make plays. Let's go with the Aztecs. Why not? Right? Let's go with the Aztecs. Play to the home crowd.
That's
Yeah, a
fine.
little pandering.
Thank you, Sammy.
Never hurt
I
anybody.
certainly can appreciate that. Wrapping it up here, Sam Levitt on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. My perfect bracket all of a sudden not looking as great as Maryland rallied to take the lead just a second ago in this first game. We never said who we picked to win the whole thing. Who do you have in your bracket?
No idea.
You have no idea who you picked to win the tournament.
Alabama
There
to
we
win
go.
the whole
All right.
thing, but
All
I
right.
don't know my final four.
That's fine. That's just the overall winner. Paulie?
I've got Houston over Alabama.
And I took Kansas as the defending champion. I know they won it last year. Maybe they'll win it again this year. And those are our final four picks. It's too late to go by what we have to say anyway.
Yeah.
Because the brackets are locked at this point. All right.
Yeah,
So
they battled back in this one, huh?
yeah, West Virginia up 26-22. Virginia leads Furman 15-7. The winner of that plays the winner of San Diego State Charleston on Saturday. Of course, we'll have more on the Aztecs react to the game tomorrow when we join you for our final show of the week on a Friday morning. That's it for us today. For Paul Reindl and Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Enjoy the tourney. Coach John Quintero going to keep you updated coming up next year on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.